Okay.
Good afternoon, friends. Today for the afternoon session, we have with us Mr. L. Jagannathan, who is our retired AGM. He had served across the country while in bank, and he was also a faculty in LDC Chennai. Earlier, it was called as Regional Staff Training College. He was in charge of the training college. After retirement, also, he is continuing to train our Canarites. He is attending to our STC as a guest faculty regularly. Besides, he is also he is a faculty at various other bank and other institutions. He is a regular trainer for many institutions. So we have a very experienced and knowledgeable person with us today. He will be taking classes regularly for our CBOA. He has been supporting CBOA for all our promotion process, both offline and physical classes he used to take. Sir, thank you for joining with CBOA. Session is over to you, sir.
Okay. Thank you very much, Mr. Anantu. Good afternoon, friends. I know this afternoon session is little difficult. But added to that, you have the test match also today. Anyhow, let us see how far we will make the session interesting and take you with me. So this is the fourth year consecutively CBOA is organizing these online classes. It started from 2020. So they have been doing it successfully. So I am also participating in the class. So today my session is that is I have been asked to cover the deposit related matters as well as the Reserve Bank of India guidelines on deposit related matters along with the new products. The question paper one is the test paper one for this year. It is already uploaded in your CBOA website. This question paper is before you. My method of teaching is a question paper will be framed. So for each these questions, wherever required, there will be a PowerPoint presentation also simultaneously to explain the other details. Okay, so we'll start with the first question paper, friends. So the deposit policy of the bank 23-24, and it seems I was told this time a major portion of your questions will come from the circulars issued by the bank. So deposit policy of the bank is one of the major circulars issued by the bank. And then term deposit consolidated guidelines, HO circular 163/23, NND, a master circular has come in the year, that is 29, HO circular 29, 165 and 485/2023. And current account master circular 496/2023, interest rate and on domestic deposit and NRO deposit, that is the latest from August 2023, 631/23, interest rate on NRI term deposit, that is 632/23. Added to that, so I'll be covering RBI master directions on deposits, that is our latest update was 16th September 2022. And then the SB new products introduced by the bank. Okay, so few new products have been introduced. Those features also we will see. Okay, the first question is, which is not correct with regard to SB account? So it is a negative question. Wherever the question is negative, the examiner will put the not or odd man out. Odd man out will be there. The word odd or the word NOT, he will put under the bold, that is letter. So here I have put which is not correct with regard to SB account. So that is after the options given to you, when these questions were framed, out of the options given to you, one of the option will be which is not in your circular, or all options will not be in the circular, or all options also will be in the circular. So depending upon, that is, if you know the subject, if you know your policy, then you can answer the question. That is the idea. Now you see, which is not correct with regard to SB account. Political parties registered with the Election Commission of India under the Election Symbols Act 1968 can open SB account and get interest. Number two, banks can open SB account and pay interest for companies licensed by the central government under Section 8 of Companies Act 2013 or Section 25 of Companies Act 1956 or under the corresponding provision in the Indian Companies Act 1913 and permitted not to add their names, the word limited or the words private limited. Point number three, PAN card is not considered as an officially valid document for opening SB account. Point number 4, that is customer, if the customer provides OVD documents which do not contain the updated address, so updated OVD with the current address to be provided within a period of 3 months. Already Mr. Ravi Kumar would have told you about the KAC norm in the morning session. You see, so in the deposit policy of the bank says, political parties, whether they are registered with the Election Commission of India or not, they should not open an SB account. You cannot give interest on the SB account. And then, so point number two is, so in your master policy on the deposit policy, which are all the institutions permitted to open SB account and get interest from the bank? So that is the main crux of this point. So I'll show the PowerPoint presentation, you can see. See, organizations eligible to open SB account and get interest besides individuals and non-trading HUF. Friends, we can open SB account for individuals. We can also open SB account for HUF if the HUF is not a trading organ, if they are not doing any trading activity. If the HUF is doing a trading activity, you can open only a current account. Okay, organizations other than individuals and non-trading HUF who can open an SB account and you can pay interest on that. That is this point of that. So there are 8 such organizations are there. Primary Cooperative Credit Society, which is being financed by the bank, they can open. Khadi and Village Industries Boards, they can open. Agricultural Produce Market Committees also can open and they earn SB interest. Societies registered under Societies Registration Act 1860. See, companies licensed by the central government under Section 8 of Companies Act 2013 or Section 25 of the Companies Act 1956 or under the corresponding provisions in the Indian Companies Act 1933 and permitted not to add their names the word limited or the words private limited. When this question was asked last year. So whether which are all the following organizations are permitted to open SB account and get interest. So this point was there. All of us thought company means they should not open SB account. Okay, people after the exam, they came and told me companies, they should not open SB accounts, so that I have not declared it as a correct option. But this is the correct option. Companies also permitted to open SB account and they can get interest, provided the companies are not permitted to add their names, the word limited or the words private limitations against them as per the Companies Act. And institutions other than, so these 2 things are also can open SB account. Who are they? Institutions other than those mentioned in section 28H. Last year, as per the RBI master direction, it was section 26H. This year, it underwent a change in September 2022. So institutions other than those mentioned in section 28H and whose entire income is exempted from payment of income tax, they are also eligible to open an SB account and get interest. Then government departments, bodies, agencies in respect of grant subsidies released for implementation of various programs, etc., are also eligible to open SB account and get interest. Development of women and children in rural areas, DWCRA. Self-help groups, registered or unregistered, which are engaged in promoting savings habits among their members, farmers club, because Vagini, that is volunteer Vagini VVV. So these 8 institutions, so in their name, if you open an account, you can, that is open an SB account and pay interest. So that is there in your master policy on your deposit. So out of these things, if you see which is not correct with regard to SB account. So which is not correct, you see, political parties are not permitted. That is correct. Point number 2, banks can open SB account and pay interest for companies. That is also correct. What is that point number 3? Point number 3 is PAN is not considered as a valid, officially valid document. Yes, that is correct. 4, if customers provide OVD documents which do not contain address, within 3 months they have to give. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So political, so all the points are correct. So what is your answer? So your answer is, so political parties, registered Election Commission of India can open and get interest on SB account. I told you, political parties, whether they are registered or not registered, you should not open SB account and pay interest. So out of the 4 options, first option is wrong. So mostly what you will think, option number 1 and option number 2 is also not, will think they cannot open because companies, the word is there. But companies with this condition, you can open SB SB account and pay interest. So for out of the 4 options, first option is the wrong. So what is your answer? Answers are given here A. So your answer A is 1 and 2. No, 1 and 2 are not correct. So answer B, 3 and 4. Okay, that is also not correct. Point number C, that is your option point number C, 1 only is not correct. Point number D, 4 only is not correct. No, out of A, B, C, D. So that is your answer for this question should be answer C. That is, what is answer C? 1 only is not correct. What is 1? Political parties registered with government. So with the Collection Commission of India, they should not open an SB account. Here it is mentioned they can open an SB account. So for question number 1, the answer should be answer C. For question number 1, the answer should be C. Please note it down. Then which is second question? Which is not correct with regard to SB account? Minimum deposit and withdrawal is ₹10. Service charges will be collected if number of withdrawals, including alternate channel debit exceeds ₹50 per half year. Canada's basic savings bank deposit account is a fully KYC compliant account. Prisoner in jail can open small SB account. A foreign national who has come to India for employment can open a domestic SB account. We'll see through the PowerPoint presentation here. So last year for 3 to 4, this question was asked. In the recalled question, which Ravi Kumar has posted, you can see that. See point number B, you see. Question number 2, point number D. Service charges will be collected if number of withdrawals, including alternate channel debit, exceed ₹50 per half year. So this is wrong. What is the correct answer? Service charges will be collected if number of withdrawal, excluding alternate channel. So if you see the deposit policy, it is mentioned as excluding alternate channel. So in the question, the options, if it is given including, then it is not permitted. It is wrong. If here it is given, so that is service charges will be collected if number of withdrawals, including alternate channel debit, exceed 50 per half year. That is wrong. The other points are correct. Minimum deposit withdrawal should be 10. That is correct. Point number 2 is wrong. Point number 3, Canada Basic Savings Bank Deposit Account. Yes, it is a fully KYC compliant account. Only Canada Small SB account is only not fully KYC compliant account. Then prisoner in jail, they can open under the small SB account. So Canada Basic Savings Deposit Account, product code 108. Then Canada Small Savings, product code 127. Let us see that is PowerPoint presentation with regard to this. See, I think that is Basic Savings Bank Deposit Account. This is already there. All of you will know. It is a fully KYC compliant account. No minimum balance. Following facilities free of charge to be provided. The deposit of cash at bank branches as well as ATMs. Receipts of credit money through electronic channels. No limit on the number and value of deposits that can be made in a month. However, max in a month is permitted, including ATM withdrawals. Last time a question was asked. See, what is the maximum number of check leaves can be given to a BSBD account holder without any charges? So as per the scheme guidelines, 4 withdrawals in a month is permitted. That means in a year, so that is 4 means per month, 12 months, 48. So you can give maximum 50 check leaves because 48 check leaves you cannot give. Your check leave book contains 10 check leaves each. So 4 withdrawals in a month, including ATM withdrawals. Based on that, they asked a question. What is the maximum number of check leaves free of charge can be given to a BSBD account holder? 48 check leaves. Then ATM card and ATM debit card to be given to the customer free of cost. So no charges will be levied for non-operation activities of inoperative basic savings bank account. If the customer is having any other SB account, he has to close it within 30 days from the date of opening the BSBD account. And then you have to get a declaration from the customer that I am not having any other BSBD account with any bank in the country. So here the possible questions are whether it is a fully KYC compliant account. Yes, it is a fully KYC compliant account. The next point is what is the maximum, that is check leaves you will give free of charge. 50 check leaves maximum we can give. So these are all the free things you have to give to a basic savings bank account holder. If anything else you want to give, you can charge. If you do not want to charge also, you need not to charge. That is the main, that is a concept of this basic savings bank account. These are all the minimum things you got to provide to the basic savings bank account holder without any charges. If you want to, if the customer want, let's assume the customer says, I want 100 check leaves. So you can give beyond 50, you have to charge him if the bank takes a decision to charge. Okay, sir, that is with regard to, this is a product code. If I am correct, it is 108 in Canara Bank. Then Canara Small Savings Bank Deposit Account, relaxed KYC norms. You won't ask for any KYC documents. So self-attest photograph in the account opening form. The account opening form and the account opening form and the photograph has to be signed by the account holder in front of the bank officials. Account opening form to be signed in front of the bank officials and the same to be certified by the bank officials. Aggregate credit in this account not to exceed 1 lakh in a financial year. Similarly, aggregate amount of all withdrawals, including ATM withdrawal, should not exceed 10,000 in a month. Balance at any point of time. So aggregate credit should not exceed 1 lakh. Balance at any point of time in this account should not exceed 50,000. The above limit on balance shall not be considered while making deposits through government grants and welfare benefits. That is an exception. So these accounts will be in operation for 12 months from the date of opening. For another 12 months also, you can allow this account to continue, provided the depositor gives a proof to you that he has applied for OVD and he is yet to get the OVD, because you have opened the account without OVD. So get a declaration from the depositor with a proof that he has applied for OVD and he is yet to get it. Then another 12 months. Beyond 12 months, without getting the OVD, you cannot allow the account to continue. At the time of opening the small SB account like BSBD, so you should not have no other SB account. If it is there, it has to be closed within 30 days, and then foreign remittance should not be allowed in this account. And then prisoners in jail can also open this account. His name, his address, or his whatever, his signature, etc., will be certified by the jail warden to attest the photograph and the account opening form. This is Canara Small, that is savings bank account. Similarly, we will go and see, we will see that is accounts of foreign students. So we have seen now BSBD, then we have seen small SB account. Now we are seeing that is accounts of foreign students. The foreign students who have come to India for study, what accounts they can open. As per FCNR Guidelines, foreign students who have come to India for studies, they are considered as NRIs. Okay, you can open only NRO SB account for them based on valid passport, valid visa, and immigration endorsement having entered into the country. A letter from the college as a proof of admission, then proof for local address. So if the local address is there, get a proof for local address. Since he has joined, he is yet to get a local accommodation. You have to get, if the local address proof is not there, you have to get an undertaking that the local address proof will be provided within 30 days. Okay, to be obtained and verified by the bank officials. So pending verification of the local address, foreign remittance not to exceed $10,000 or its equivalent, withdrawal not to exceed rupees 50,000 rupees during the 30 days. So this is a restriction. This question they are frequently asking. So if the local proof of address is not obtained within 30 days, ask him to submit. During these 30 days, if he has not yet provided, you can permit credit maximum $1,000 or its equivalent, or withdrawal maximum 50,000 rupees. This account can be opened by for all foreign nationals who have come to India for study purpose. Suppose if a person from Pakistan, who is a Pakistan nationality, if he comes to India for study purpose as a student, to open even this NRO SB account, prior permission of Reserve Bank of India should be there. Okay, so from this topic, the question you may expect is, so within how many days he has to give the local address proof? If not so, what is the condition? Similarly, for which person from which country RBI permission is required to open that is NRO SB account for a student who has come from Pakistan? So this is the possibility questions from this topic. And then the other one is accounts of foreign tourists visiting India. So we have seen BSBDA, then we have seen small SB account, both are for resident Indians. Then we have seen NRO SB for foreign students who have come to India for study. Now we are going to see foreign national who has come to India as a tourist. What account you can open. As per FEMA and Reserve Bank of India guideline, for a foreign tourist who is visiting India also, you can open only NRO SB account. So the maximum period of SB account only 6 months. Beyond that, it has to be closed. And then no local credits in the account is permitted. So you cannot make any local credits in the account. While leaving India, funds in the account can be repatriated. So whatever balance he is having. If any local credits is you have seen, any local at the time of closure, so any local credits you have seen, or if the period of the SB account is exceeds more than 6 months from the date of opening, when these two things taken place in this account, you cannot close the account and repatriate the money to the foreign country without getting RBI's prior permission. If any local credits or if the period exceeds 6 months, RBI prior permission required for repatriation. Balance of cash drawn. Suppose he has withdrawn cash from the account. He is having some money with him. Or he has withdrawn cash from the ATM. He is having some cash with him. It is of no use for him to take the cash. He may also tender to you and ask you to repatriate that money. In that case, whether you can accept it and you can repatriate what the condition says, but the bank has to satisfy that he holds a tickets for travel out of India within next 7 days. Two conditions to be fulfilled, friends. Foreign tourist opening account in India, NRO SB account. The account should not be more than 6 months from the date of opening. While leaving the India, they can repatriate the funds provided there are no local credits and the account is not more than 6 months old. Any excess cash they are holding by withdrawing cash from the ATM or withdrawing from your branch they are having, then in that case, they can also repatriate that money through you, provided we have to satisfy that they are holding a return ticket leaving India within the next 7 days, and then the maximum cash which you are going to repatriate, it should not exceed 50,000 rupees. This is with regard to foreign tourists opening an account in India. Okay, friends. Now let's go back to the question. So we are not, as you have seen, we are not just seeing the question and giving the multiple choice and the answer. So from this question, what are the possible questions that can be asked to you, also explained by means of the PowerPoint presentation. The entire subject is covered. That is my idea. So here you see, which is not correct with regard to SB account. Minimum deposit and withdrawal is rupees 10. That is correct. Service charges will be collected if number of withdrawals, including alternate channels debit, exceeds 50 per half year. That is wrong. Excluding alternate channel. Then point number C. Canara Basic Savings Bank Deposit Account is a fully KYC compliant account. Correct. Prisoner in jail can open small SB account. That is also correct. A foreign national who has come to India for employment. So you see, here it is not, he is not a foreign tourist. He is not a foreign national who has come to India for studies. He is a foreign national who has come to India for employment. So, American embassy is there, German embassy is there, their officials from abroad will be there. So when a foreign national has come to India for employment, he can open normal SB account. So whatever available, 101, you have the product code, no? So foreign national who has come to India for employment can open a normal domestic SB deposit account. So that is in this question, point number B is wrong. So which is not correct? Point number B is not correct. Then question number C, 3. Which one of the following is a correct guideline? The question is, so far, which one of the following is not the correct guideline? Here, which one of the following is the correct guideline? That means, which is there in the circular, which is not in the circular, you should know. I already explained to you. Foreign students who have come to India can open NRO SB, correct. Foreign tourists visiting India can open NRO SB, correct. A resident Indian married to a foreign national, and the foreign national has come to India for permanent stay, and this foreign national can open a normal SB account, correct? So when a foreign national come to India for employment, he can open a normal SB, domestic SB account. Similarly, when a foreign national married to an Indian national and he or she coming to India for permanent settlement along with his husband or wife in India, they can also open a normal domestic SB account. So, which one of the following is a correct guideline? So, all are correct guideline. No, all are correct guidelines. See, that is question number, answer is E. So, answer is A to C, all are correct. So, A to C, all the 3 points are correct. So, question number 3, answer is E. Question number 3, answer is E. Then, for borrowers whose OD/OCC exposure from the banking system is less than dash crore, where there is no restriction on opening of current accounts by banks, subject to obtaining an undertaking from the borrower that they shall inform the bank as and when the credit facilities availed by them from the banking system reaches. So here, so a guideline has come from a Reserve Bank of India, which is given in your HO circular. How, for which customers you can open current account freely, for which customers you cannot open current account freely by any bank in India. PowerPoint presentation will go through. Then this one question you can answer very well. Okay, let us see the PowerPoint presentation. So this is a master guideline again issued by the bank during the year. Question may come. Opening of current account guidelines. For borrowers who have availed OD/OCC facility from the system. So if any person have availed OD/OCC limit, even if it is 50 lakhs, even if it is 100 lakhs, even if it is 500 lakhs, whatever is the case. If a person has availed a OD/OCC facility from a bank, so the banking system is from any bank in the country, from with which bank he can open a current account. That is a criteria. First you see. For borrowers who have availed OD/OCC facility from the banking system, no restrictions for opening current account if the OD/OCC exposure is less than 5 crores from the banking system. If the OD/OCC exposure of the customer is less than 5 crores put together from all the banks on a particular day, any bank can open current account for them. Keep that in mind. Customer is having an OD/OCC. If the limit availed by him is if the limit availed by him is less than 5 crores from all the banks put together in the country, any bank can open current account for that customer. But only one undertaking letter you have to obtain. What is that undertaking letter? Undertaking letter from such persons to be obtained that they will inform the bank if the OD/OCC facilities availed by them reaches rupees 5 crores or more. Based on that, you open a current account. How to monitor it, whether it is crossed or not, we will see in the last slide. Okay, so you can open a current account for a borrower who has availed OD/OCC facility less than 5 crores. Any bank can open. They should have availed less than 5 crores from all the banks put together. With an undertaking letter, when my exposure exceeds 5 crores from the banking system, I will inform you. Like that, get the condition and open the account. Then on the other hand, if the OD/OCC exposure is 5 crores and above, it is more than 5 crores from the banking system, they can open current account with which bank they can open the current account. They can open current account only with the bank from whom they availed the facility, provided that the bank has at least 10% of the exposure of the banking system to that borrower. Suppose let us assume they have availed an OD/OCC facility more than 5 crores. They can avail from one bank or they can avail from various banks. If they availed from one bank, in that bank only they can have a current account. If they are availed from more than one bank, so let us assume they availed 50 crores, they availed from more than one bank. You find out with which bank they are having 10% or more than 10%. So 10% of 50 crores is 5 crores. Out of the 10, 6, 7 banks which they opened, with which they availed the ODOC facility. So when it is in any bank, when it exceeds more than 10%, you find out with which bank the share is more than 5 crores, provided when they availed 50 crores, no. So 10% of 50 crores come to 5 crores. With which bank the share is more than 5 crores. With that bank only, they have to open the current account. So in case none of the lenders have at least 10% exposure. So all are not having, but he is having exposure from 15, 20 banks. But all banks are having less than 5 crores only, but put together 50 crores. In that case, the bank which is having the maximum share only can open current account for that particular person. In case none of the lenders has at least 10% exposure of the banking system to the borrower, the bank having the highest exposure may open the current account. Example, you see, 50 crores is the exposure. 10% of 50 crores is 5 crores. If any bank has given 5 crores and above, current account to be opened with that bank only. If no bank has given 5 crores, current account to be opened with the bank which has the highest exposure. So what is a guideline with regard to opening current account by borrowers who are having ODOCC exposure? If they are having ODOCC exposure less than 5 crores, any bank can open current account. With the undertaking, he will inform the bank once the level touches 5 crores. If the party is having 5 crores and above ODOCC exposure, then the bank which is having the more than 10% of the exposure only can open current account. If none of the banks are having 10% exposure, the bank which is having the highest exposure only to open a current account for that borrower. Okay, that is the guideline. Less than 5 crores, more than 5 crores. And this is with regard to parties having ODOCC exposure. Now, so for example, when the party is having more than 5 crores, so he will open current account only with the bank which is having more than 10% exposure or which is having the maximum exposure. So in that, the many banks have given the loan to him. Other lending banks, other than the banks which has opened the current account, no, other lending banks may open only collection account subject to the condition that funds deposited in such collection accounts will be remitted within 2 working days of receiving such funds to the ODOCC maintained with the bank maintaining the current account for the borrower. Non-lending banks are not permitted to open current account to such borrowers. Again, I repeat, friends, borrower having ODOCC less than 5 crores, any bank can open. Borrowers having 5, that is more than 5 crores or more. Bank which is having the maximum, the 10% share only can open the current account. If no bank is having 10%, bank having the maximum share only to open the current account. Non-lending banks, non-lending banks. Other lending banks, which are having less than 10% share, no, that is other lending banks can open a collection account with the condition is money to be transferred from the collection account to the ODOCC account of the bank in which the borrower is maintaining the current account within 2 days. The banks which have not given any loan to the borrower should not open any current account to the borrower. Okay, this less than 5 crores, above 5 crores. This is the condition where they availed ODOCC. Suppose the borrower has not availed ODOCC. They have availed only term loan. So which bank can open current account? That is a condition now. In case the customers who have not availed the ODOCC facility from any bank, but they have other exposure, branches may open current account as under. There is a possibility, no, bank party would be having a term loan or party may be having a non-fund based limit. They may not be having ODOCC account. So in that case, the borrower has not availed ODOCC from any bank in the country, but he has availed some other exposure. In that case, which bank can open current account for them? So if the exposure is 50 crores and above from the banking system other than ODOCC, please keep in mind. So if any fellow has opened an ODOCC account, then the first guideline to be complied with. Here, other than ODOCC, if the exposure is 50 crores and above, banks to put in a place a escrow mechanism and the current account to be opened only by the escrow account maintaining bank. So all the banks will come together and decide. So this bank can open a current account. What do you mean by an escrow account? Or since this party is not having a ODOCC with any other bank in the country, since the party is not having ODOCC with any other bank in the country, so their exposure is above 50 crores. Other than ODOCC, the banks which are given the loan will come together and say an escrow account will be opened. What is that escrow account? A current account through which all business transactions of the party will be routed through from that account only. The turnover you will find out from that current account only. There is no ODOCC account for him. Okay, banks to put in a place escrow account mechanism and the current account to be opened only by the escrow maintaining account bank. Other lending banks, no, many banks have given loan to the fellow. Other lending banks can open collection account and the funds in these collection accounts to be transferred to the escrow account as per the periodicity agreed upon. More than 50 crores, other than ODOCC, an escrow account to be maintained with a lending bank. So other lending banks can open a collection account and funds from this collection account to be transferred to the escrow account because there is no ODOCC account, to the escrow account as per the periodicity agreed upon. Non-lending banks cannot open current account for such borrowers. Okay, more than 50 crores. Then anything above 5 crores up to 50 crores only other than ODOCC. What we are seeing the third slide is other than ODOCC. The exposure of 5 crores and above from the banking system about less than 50 crores other than ODOCC. No restriction for lending banks to open current account. So he can open current account with any lending bank, where if the exposure is above 50 crores, an escrow account to be opened by one of the lending banks. The other lending banks can open collection account. From this collection account, money should go to the escrow account as per the periodicity agreed upon. Non-lending banks cannot open current account. On the other hand, if the exposure is above 5 crores up to 50 crores other than ODOCC, if 4 or 5 banks are given this exposure to the borrower, all these banks can open current account. No restriction on this. Non-lending banks, here, non-lending banks can open a current account, but it should be only a collection account and the funds to be transferred to the escrow account of the party. Okay, sir. The exposure is less than 5 crores for the banking system other than ODOCC. Any bank can open current account. So undertaking letter to be obtained from the customer. If the exposure becomes rupees 5 crores and less than 50 crores, or if the exposure becomes above 5 crores, above 50 crores and above, they will be governed by the respective provisions. No exposure. The party is not having any exposure at all from the banking system. No restrictions in opening the current account for them. So the guidelines with regard to current account opening has been modified by Reserve Bank of India. Canara Bank also 465 or something like that. 2023 circular has been issued. Parties having ODOCC exposure, what is the guideline? Parties having other than ODOCC exposure, what is the guideline? If the party is not having either ODOCC or any other exposure, what is the guideline? If no exposure from any bank can open current account. If only ODOCC exposure, if it is less than 5 crores, any bank can open current account. ODOCC exposure above 5 crores, bank which is having the maximum share or 10% share only can open. Non-lending bank cannot open current account for them. Coming to term loan, these conditions I have told. So if any question asked, you should be able to answer. So we'll go to the question now. Okay, so this is what that in your circular. This is question number 4. For borrowers whose ODOCC exposure from the banking system is less than dash crore, there is no restriction for ODOCC exposure. There is no restriction for opening current account by banks. Subject to obtaining undertaking letter from such borrowers, they shall inform the bank as and when the credit facilities available by them from the banking system reaches rupees 5 crores. So here, for the first fill in the blanks, option is 5 crores, and the last fill in the blanks option is also 5 crores. The answer should be 5 crores. The explanation is given in the PPT. If you go through the PPT once, any question you can answer for this current account opening master guideline. Okay, sir. Then anything else is there, we will see there in the question paper. See some more general point as that. In all the cases, the current account and the ODOCC accounts to be monitored regularly, at least on a half-yearly basis, specifically with regard to exposure to the banking system of these customers to ensure that is compliance with these instructions. So if they ask the question, so they will leave all these 50 crores, 5 crores, and etc. What is the periodicity of monitoring? That is the ODOC's exposure of the party in order to understand whether they can open current account with a bank in India or not. So the ODOCC accounts or current accounts to be monitored and off. The customer is given a declaration to my exposure is less than 5 crores. So you have to monitor. How will you monitor? If any exposure more than 5 crores, banks have to report to CRILIC. CRILIC report will be there. Or in the balance sheet, the customer will give the exposure with the other banks. So the banks have to monitor the exposure of the party who has opened a current account with you, whether it is more than 5 crores, more than 50 crores, etc., on a periodicity, which is on a half-yearly basis. So if they ask that question, you should not leave. What the examiner will do, he will leave all the important thing. He'll be thinking 5 crores, 50 crores, more than 50 crores, etc., etc. He will frame a very simple question. What is the periodicity of monitoring these accounts? Half-yearly basis. Half-yearly basis. That is more important. If there is any change in the exposure, the bank found out. That is, if there is a change in the exposure has taken place, if we told the various guidelines, no, you should open current account only with these banks, etc. The revised guidelines to be implemented within 3 months. If they ask that question also, you should be able to answer within 3 months. There are certain exemptions are there for opening current account. These conditions will not apply. Interbank account. One bank is opening a current account in another bank. Accounts of cash replacement agencies, RERA account builders are having the RERA permission. All India financial, SEBI, NABARD, central and state government institutions. For these institutions, these conditions of 50 crores, 5 crores, etc. is not that. Okay, so this is very important with regard to opening current account. Okay, sir, good, very good. Now, question number 5. Question number 5, you see, I want to hear that is just you go through it and tell me what is your reply for this question number 5. If NRE term deposit matures and the proceeds are unpaid, so again I repeat, if an NRE term deposit matures and the proceeds are unpaid, the amount left unclaimed with the bank shall attract interest from the date of maturity till the date of payment or reinvestment at the contracted rate of interest on the matured deposit or SB interest, whichever is less. The rate of interest as applicable to SB account. The contracted interest on the matured term deposit, none of this. So friends, I think in 2 years back, there is a modified guideline has come. Here, the question is, an NRE term deposit has matured. It is not, let us assume, it is not automatically renewed or whatever it is. That is, from the date of maturity till the date of payment, what interest you will pay on the overdue NRE term deposit? That is the question here. That is, as far as the domestic deposit is concerned, when a domestic term deposit matures, from the date of maturity till the date of payment, so for the intervening period, on the that is matured amount will be there. No, you will pay what interest? We will pay that is prevailing SB interest or the rate of interest as applicable to the matured term deposit, whichever is less. Isn't it? But coming to NRE term deposit, the concept of whichever less is not there. For NRE term deposit, you have to apply for the overdue period. For NRE term deposit, bank will give the prevailing SB interest. So here, if an NRE term deposit matures and proceeds are unpaid, the amount left unclaimed with the bank shall attract interest from the date of maturity till the date of payment or reinvestment at the contracted rate of interest on the matured term deposit as SB interest, whichever is less. No, that is applicable only for the domestic term deposit. So the rate of interest as applicable to SB account. Yes, this is applicable for NRE term deposit. For the overdue period, we will give the SB interest applicable for the overdue period. So the answer for question number 5 is B. Please do not tick answer A. Answer for question number 5A, it will be if it is a domestic term deposit. It is a NRE term deposit. Question number 5, answer is B. Question number 6. So where it says HO circular 632/23. Question number 5, HO circular 632/23. For clarity, you can go through the circular. Question number 6. If a term deposit matures on a holiday, which one is correct with regard to payment of interest on the holiday? So let's assume that is today is a holiday, or tomorrow is also a holiday. So 2 days, let us assume the term deposit is maturing today. So the customer cannot take it from you. So he has to come only on Monday. For the 2 holidays, what rate of interest you will give to the customer? Simple interest, option 1. Simple interest shall be paid at the originally contracted rate on the original principal deposit amount for the holiday in respect of fixed deposit. In the case of reinvestment term deposits and recurring deposits, simple interest shall be paid at the originally contracted rate for the holiday on the maturity value. For all types of deposit, SB interest prevailing on the date of maturity will be paid on the holiday for the principal amount. No interest will be paid for the holiday. I will tell the logic. As per the Reserve Bank of India guidelines, when a deposit matures on a holiday, you have to see whether it is a reinvestment deposit or it is a fixed deposit. In our bank, you have FDR or you have KDR and you have RD. KDR and RD are reinvestment deposits and fixed deposit is for FDR. If a deposit is maturing on a holiday, if it is the fixed, let us assume you accepted a deposit. This deposit you accepted 2 years back at 10%. The deposit is maturing today. For 2 days, bank is holiday. So you have to see whether it is a FDR or it is a KDR or it is a RD. If it is FDR, fixed deposit, for these 2 days, you will give the rate at which the fixed deposit was accepted. That is 2 years back on the principal amount, 2 days simple interest you will give. What is the rate of interest? The rate at which the FDR was accepted. If it is a reinvestment deposit like KDR or RD on the maturity value, because already it is matured. In the case of FDR, interest has been paid to the depositor then and there. It is a KDR. So in the KDR, reinvestment portion, so total accumulated interest along with the principal, on that you will pay for these 2 days the rate at which the KDR was accepted. So what is the answer now? I think answer 1 is correct. Simple interest shall be paid at the originally contracted rate on the original principal deposit amount for the holiday in the case of fixed deposit. In case of reinvestment term deposits and recurring deposit, simple interest shall be paid at the originally contracted rate for the holiday and the maturity value. So 1 and 2 are correct. So where 1 and 2 are correct? So option C. Option C, you see 1 and 2. So for question number 6, the answer is C. So if it is for both the deposits, you will pay only simple interest at what rate? At the contracted rate of the original deposit. If it is a fixed deposit, on the principal amount. If it is a reinvestment deposit, on the maturity value. That's all. For the holiday period, you give no SB interest, etc., etc. So question number 6, answer is C. What is C? C 1 and 2. So which is correct? 1 and 2 is correct. So answer is C. Question number 6, answer is C. Question number 7. HO circular 767/2022. That is the latest circular with regard to your SB deposit interest rate, if I am correct. HO circular 767/2022 gives the SB interest rate for various slabs with effect from 21/12/2022. What is the minimum and maximum interest rate for SB deposits in our bank as per that circular? If they ask that, you should not miss it. Sometimes they ask. So SB interest rate 767/2022 with effect from 21/12/2022. See, this SB interest rate is applicable for domestic SB, NRO SB, and NRI SB. All the 3 SBs, same rate of interest in Canara Bank. So we start from outstanding balance less than 50 lakhs and we end up with outstanding balance 2,000 crores and above. So the minimum rate of interest is 2.590 and the maximum rate of interest 4%. Sometimes they ask in the question. So what is the number of slabs available in the HO circular? What is the number of slabs? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So how many slabs are there? 10 slabs are there. So how many? So how many slabs are there? 10 slabs are there. What is the minimum amount is start? Balance less than 50 lakhs. And what is the maximum slab it ends? Balance more than 2,000 crores. What is the minimum rate of interest? 2.90. And what is the maximum rate of 4% with effect from which day? 21/12/2022. This is your SB. Okay, sir. Now you see the question. You can answer now the question. HO Circular 767/2022 gives the SB interest rate for various slabs with effect from what is the minimum and maximum rate SB deposit in our bank. Minimum is 2.90 and maximum is 4%. So I have told you how many slabs are there. The minimum amount starts for which slab and the maximum amount ends for what slab. What is the minimum amount? What is the maximum amount? Any question you should not miss it. Then next question is a negative question. So whenever the question is a not or whenever the question starts with and find out the odd man out, we call it as a negative question. Question number 8, which is not correct with regard to penalty for free closure of domestic term deposit as per HO Circular 631/2023. Okay. Okay. Anyhow, I will. I'll see the. I'll show you the PowerPoint presentation. Then we'll come back. Okay, sir. Now, interest rate on domestic and NRO deposit. So, which is HO Circular 631/2023 latest with effect on 12/8/2023. So, we are seeing the interest slab for domestic and NRO. So, the domestic and NRO term deposit, there is one circular for interest rate. NRI term deposit, another circular for interest rate. FCNR term deposit, another circular for interest rate. So NRO and SB with effect from 12/8/2023. In domestic and NRO deposit, you have two slabs, callable deposit and non-callable deposit. What is a callable deposit? Callable deposit is deposits that can be closed before maturity. Non-callable deposit cannot be closed before maturity. Okay. Now, callable deposit. So let us see. See, in the case of callable deposit, again, you have two slabs, less than 2 crores, 2 crores to less than 10 crores. Okay, so 2 crores to less than, less than 2 crores, 2 crores to 10 crores. So the day starts from 7 days, 7 days to 45 days, etc., etc. So you have public and you have a senior citizen. So senior citizen rate, if you see 4, it is one and the same, one and the same. Only when it becomes 180 days, senior citizen rate increases. Only when it becomes 180 days, senior citizen increases. Like that, the slab goes. Similarly, non-callable, you have non-callable starting from more than 15 lakhs, less than 2 crores. That means what? Non-callable deposit cannot be accepted for 15 lakhs and below 15 lakhs. Non-callable deposits can be accepted above 15 lakhs only. So you are having 2 crores to less than 10 crores also. Then you have another slide and you are ending with 5 years to 10 years. Okay, now the question is, a deposit is closed before maturity. A deposit is open, a deposit is closed before maturity. What interest you will give for the period for which the deposit is opened, remained with you, whether you will reduce something from the deposit and give, or you will reduce something on the interest and you will give, whether you will not reduce anything on the interest and you will give. That is a guideline now. It varies from deposit to deposit, callable, non-callable, etc., etc. Let us see, non-callable, you cannot close before maturity. Keep that in mind. So premature closure interest guidelines. Premature closure is permitted for callable deposits only. And one more thing you should keep in mind, premature closure is not permitted for Canara tax saver. Canara tax saver also, as long as the depositors are alive. So Canara tax saver also, premature closure is not allowed. Premature closure is permitted for callable deposits only. For Canara tax saver, it is not permitted. For non-callable deposits also, it is not permitted. Now, what is the guideline? Let us assume depositors are alive. They are coming to you for pre-closure of the deposit. So whether you will give the same rate, you will give some different rate, we are going to see. Domestic NRO, NRE term deposits. Okay. Deposits of rupees less than rupees 2 crores accepted or renewed or extended on or after 12/3/2019, 1% penal cut. If it is less than 2 crores, accepted on or after 12/3/2019, then you will give 1% less on the deposit for the period run. I will tell you. These deposits will earn interest at 1% below the rate as applicable for the relevant amount slab as ruling on the date of deposit and as applicable for the period run, or 1% below the rate at which the deposit has been accepted, whichever is lower. For example, deposit accepted for 5 years on 1/10/2022. Premature closure sought on 10/10/2023. The deposit has run for 1 year and 9 days. For 5 years, you have to find out, for 5 years on 1/10/22, what is the rate of interest? He has opened the deposit on 1/10/2022 for 5 years. On that day, for 5 years, what is the rate of interest? 7%. For more than 1 year, less than 2 years, that is, the deposit has run for 1 year and 9 days. That is more than 1 year, less than 2 years. For more than 1 year, less than 2 years, on the date of opening deposit, what is the interest rate you have to find out? So on 1/10/2022, the deposit was open, the rate of interest was 7%. On 1/10/2022, for more than 1 year, less than 2 years, the rate of interest on that year, what is the rate of interest? On that day, it is 8%. So now you see which rate of interest is less. So the rate of interest for 5 years is less. From that, you subtract 1%. So the depositor will get 6% rate of interest. So what is the logic behind that? If the deposit is closed before maturity, which deposit? Domestic, NRO or NRE. So the deposit will earn 1% less. On what 1% less? For the period remained with the bank. On the date of opening, what is the rate of interest you find out? And you also find out what is the rate of interest accepted for the originally accepted deposit. Here 7%, the other one is 8%. Between the two, you take the lowest minus 1%. That rate of interest will be given for the premature, that is closure of the deposit. So suppose this is for less than 2 crores. If the deposit amount is 2 crores and above, no, there is penalty. If the deposit amount is 2 crores and above, there is no penalty. Except from 12/3/2000. Why we are using the word 12/3/2019? What is the logic behind that 2019? That is a day. From that day, Reserve Bank of India modified the definition of the bulk deposit. So bulk deposit 2 crores and above is with effect from 12/3/2019. So if the deposit is less than 2 crores, you will apply 1% penalty. How that 1% penalty is calculated, I told you. Now the deposit is 2 crores and above, no 1% penalty. Whichever is less only you have to give without 1%. Here you see. Except on 1/10/2022, 1/10/2022 for 3 years, interest is 8%. Premature closure sought on 10/10/2023, that is 1 year 99 days. After 1 year 9 days, interest for 1 year 9 days on 1/10/2022 is 7%. So this is 8%, this is 7%. Between the two, you apply the lowest without that is 1% penalty. So if the deposit is less than 2 crores and above, you will not apply the 1% penalty. The deposit will earn interest at 7%. Then if NRE term deposit closed before completion of 1 year from the effective date of deposit, no interest will be paid. So we have seen when 1% penalty, when there is no 1% penalty. Now, next thing what we are seeing, there is a minimum period for which a term deposit has to remain with the bank. If it is NRE term deposit, you should be remain with the bank for a minimum of 1 year. If it is closed before 1 year, no interest will be paid for that NRE term deposit. Before maturity, depositor has opened 9 months over. He is coming and asking for a premature closure, or that is 11 months, 10 days over. He comes and asks for a premature closure. You have to tell to the depositor, let it go for another 20 days. You will get 1 year interest. Otherwise, you will not get any interest at all. Okay, if NRE term deposit is closed before 1 year from the date of opening, it will not get any interest. On the other hand, a domestic term deposit and a NRO term deposit, if it is closed within 7 days from the date of opening, the depositor will not get any interest. So, if NRE term deposit closed before completion of 1 year from the effective date of deposit, no interest will be paid. Domestic and NRO, if it is closed within 7 days, no interest will be paid. On the other hand, if you close an NRO deposit before maturity to be placed in NRE term deposit, no penal provisions are there. So we have seen the penal provision for domestic deposit, NRO deposits, NRE term deposit less than 2 crores accepted honor after 12/3/2019, and that is above 2 crores accepted honor after 12/3/2019, and then minimum period required for a NRE term deposit, NRO term deposit, and domestic deposit. If it is closed before the minimum period, no interest will be paid. NRO term deposit closed and to be reinvested in the reinvestment NRE term deposit, no penalty of 1% is there. Then 1% penalty for premature closure of capital gains term deposit, irrespective of the size and the deposit amount. This question was asked. What is the penalty for capital gains premature closure? Whatever may be the deposit amount, whatever the period run, so you have to apply 1% penal cut, as we have seen the earlier. No, irrespective. Whereas in the case of callable and non-callable, it's not applicable for capital gains. What is the period run? What is the date at, or what is the rate at which the deposit is accepted? Between the two, you find out which is the less. On that, you apply 1% penal cut. So capital gains, irrespective of the size of the deposit, period of deposit, 1% penal cut is there. Then no pre-closure penalty for deposits of employees and ex-employees. So no pre-closure penalty. These deposits will earn interest at the rate as applicable for the relevant amount slab as ruling on the date of deposit, and as applicable for the period run, or the rate at which the deposit has been accepted, whichever is lower. When the deposit, so in the case of what you say, deposits of employees and ex-employees, you see what is the rate at which the deposit has been accepted. 5 years, you accepted for 8 years. He is coming after 2 years to close the deposit. For these 2 years, on the date of accepting the deposit, what is the rate of interest you find out. You know what is the rate for the deposit is open. Now you know what is the rate for the period run on the date of accepting the deposit, you know. Between the two, you apply the lower rate of interest. Don't apply the 1% penal cut. Then, when the depositor dies, in any deposit, when the depositor dies and one of either surviving depositors or you're settling a death claim, whatever it is, when the depositor dies and the deposit is going to be closed before maturity, what interest you will apply on the premature closure? When depositor dies, in the case of premature withdrawal, interest will be paid at applicable rate with reference to the period for which the deposit has remained with the bank on the date of acceptance of deposit without charging penalty. Very simple. So Mr. X opened a deposit for 5 years at 10%. On the date of opening for 5 years, it is 10%. Let us assume since he has died, other people are coming and closing before maturity. He has died after 2 years. So the period run, let's assume, is 2 years. So he has opened the deposit for 5 years at 10% rate of interest. The closure is going to take place after 2 years, so before maturity, because the depositor has died. For 2 years, on the day of acceptance of deposit, let us assume it is 8%. So what I am telling, he has opened a deposit for 5 years at 10%. Closure is taking place after 2 years. So on the date of accepting deposit for 2 years, the rate of interest is 8%. You need not see 10%, 8%, -1, etc., etc. On the date of closure, so what is the period run you see? 2 years. For the 2 years, what is the rate available on the date of he opened the deposit? That rate will straight away apply for a deposit which is closed before maturity because of the death of the depositor. Okay, that is that point. Then I give an example here. See, 1/10/2022 for 5 years, he has opened at 8%. Let's assume. Pre-closure after 1 year and 9 days. Interest for more than 1 year, less than 2 years is 7%. On which day? On 1/10/2022. So you see what rate he has opened, what is the period run. For the period run, what was the rate of interest on 1/10/2022? It was 7%. Between the two, don't compare between the two, etc. Interest for more than a year, less than 2 years, what is available on this date, on the date of opening the deposit, only to be seen. It may be 8% also. It may be 9% also. We do not know. You need not compare these two. After comparing, you need not apply any -1%. You see, interest for the period run on the date of acceptance of deposit, what is that can be extended on the deposit which is closed before maturity because of the death of the depositor. This is applicable for all deposits. Then next question is can tax saver. So can tax saver, this is peculiar thing is that when it is closed. So can tax saver cannot be closed before maturity if a depositor die. What is the maximum number of depositors in a can tax saver? Maximum number of depositors can only be 2. So the first numbered depositor, his age should be 60 years and above. For the second named depositor, age is not the criteria. So maximum depositor should be only 2. When one of the depositor dies, either number 1 or home server, that is when one of the depositor dies, if the deposit surviving depositor or if he is illegal cash, whomsoever comes, you can close before maturity. When you are going to close before maturity, what rate you will apply for the contact saver? Please see example. So everything goes a different is there. In contact saver, in the event of death of a single holder or both the joint holders, as the case may be, the nominee legal heirs shall become entitled to rate of interest on the deposit for the period run prevailing on the date of deposit or as the date of premature closure, whichever is lower without penal cut. You see how interesting is it? It's also class 631/2023. Deposit accepted on 1/10/2022. 5 years interest 8%. Contract saver is 5%, 8%. Before maturity closure on 15/10. The period run you have to see opened on 1/10, closure on 15/10. 23. Period run is 1 year 14 days. For 1 year 14 days on the original date of deposit opening 1/10. So you have to see what is the period run. For the period run on 1/10/2022, what is the rate of interest? Let us assume it is 7%. So today is coming and asking you to close, no? And today, so when he is coming and asking you to close on 15/10/2023. Okay. So on 1/10/2022, you find out for the period of 1 year 14 days, what was the rate of interest? Let's assume 7%. Then 15/10/2023 is asking you to close before maturity. On 15/10/2023, you find out what is the rate of interest for 1 year 14 days. That is on the date of closure, you have to find out what is the period run for the original deposit, what is the rate of interest on the closure day. On the closure day on 15/10/2023, let us assume for 1 year and then 14 days, rate of interest is 5%. Between the two, whichever is less, we will pay 5%. So friends, so premature closure, different rates with penal cut or without penal cut. So that is with less than 2 crores, that is 2 crores and above, or when the depositor dies, and when it is an employee or ex-employee, or when it is a contact saver saving scheme. Then FCNR. In the case of FCNR deposit, what is the conditions with regard to pre-closure deposits? So there are only 2 conditions. Whether you have to see, so you know, like NRE, FCNR deposit also, minimum period is 1 year. If an FCNR deposit is closed before 1 year, no interest is payable on the FCNR deposit. So these questions will come. What's the periodicity? FCNR deposit, so if you run less than 1 year, no interest will be paid. So you have to see when the deposit, now we are assuming all these FCNR deposits are run more than 1 year. Sorry, more than 1 year, then only they will earn interest. If the deposits are accepted period to 19/11/2011 and the depositor to 19/11/21 and the depositor wants to close before maturity, what interest you will apply? The rate of interest payable on such prematurely closed deposit shall be 1% less than the stipulated rate of interest applicable to the FCNRB deposits for the period run as ruling on the date of deposit. Very simple. So deposit open for 3 years. After 1 year, 2 days, he is coming and asking. You see, on the date of opening the deposit for 1 year, 2 days, what is the rate of interest? You find out what is the rate of interest. So you can apply the rate of interest applicable for the period run on the date of acceptance of deposit. One more condition is there. If the applicable rate of interest for the period run is less than 1%, if the applicable rate of interest for the period run is less than 1%, no interest will be paid on the premature closure. Friends, again repeat. FCNR deposit, premature closure is permitted only if it has run minimum 1 year. Before 1 year closure takes place, no interest. Now, FCNR deposit completed 1 year, a party comes for pre-closure. So what rate of interest you will apply? So you have to see when the FCNR deposit is opened. If the FCNR deposit is opened before 19/11/2021, you have to see. So on the date of acceptance of deposit, what is the rate of interest available for the period run? So he has opened a deposit for 3 years. He wants to close after 2 years. For these 2 years, on the date of acceptance of deposit, what is the rate of interest you have find out? That rate you can apply for the premature close without any penal cut. On the other hand, if the rate of interest for that period run on the date of acceptance deposit is less than 1%, the rates for FCNR deposit were less than 1% also. If the rate was less than 1%, you should not pay any interest. So if the rate of interest is more than 1%, that rate you can apply for the premature closed deposit. If the rate of interest is less than 1%, there is no question of paying any interest to the depositor if the FCNR is closed before maturity, opened, that is prior to 19/11/2021. If the deposit is accepted on or after 19/11/2021, what guidelines you will apply? Rate of interest payable on such prematurely closed deposit shall be the rate of interest applicable to FCNR B deposit for the period run, ruling as on the date of deposit or the date of seeking premature withdrawal, whichever is lower. FCNR deposit can be converted into RFC deposits upon NRI returns to India for permanent settlement without penalty permission. So, what he will do, opened on or after 19/11/2021, which interest you have to see and compare. The rate of interest payable on such prematurely closed deposit shall be the rate of interest applicable to FCNR deposit for the period run, ruling on the date of deposit. So 2 years it is run. On the date of deposit, what is the interest for 2 years you find out. Then you find out for the 2 years, what is the rate of interest on the date on which he is asking premature closure. Between the two, you apply the lesser rate of interest without any penal cut. So FCNR deposit, so before 1911 and after 19/11/2021. So these are all the guidelines. If the FCNR deposit is closed and converted to RFC deposit, no penalty provisions is applicable. Okay, sir. Now let's see the question paper. So these four, five slides, you got to be thorough. If any question asked, you should not miss it. Now, question number 8. Which is not correct with regard to penalty for pre-closure of domestic term deposit? Straight away they are given. Domestic term deposit as per HO Circular 631/2023. A penalty of 1% shall be levied for premature closure, part withdrawal, premature extension of the domestic and NRO term deposit of less than 2 crores that are accepted, renewed after 12/3/2019, excluding that of employees, ex-employees. Correct. Then a penalty of 1% is 1% to be collected. So penalty of 1%, point number 2, a penalty of 1% is waived in case of premature closure, part withdrawal, etc. of domestic NRO callable term deposit of ₹2 crores and above that are accepted, renewed on or after 12/3/2019. Correct. Okay, that is also correct. 1% is waived in the deposit amount less than 2 crores. A penalty of 1% is applicable on term deposit under capital gains account scheme 1988, which are prematurely converted withdrawal close, irrespective of the size of the deposit. That is also correct. No interest will be payable on domestic NRO term deposit prematurely closed, prematurely extended before the completion of 7 days from the date of opening. That is also correct. Penal cut is waived for NRO deposits that are prematurely closed for the purpose of reinvestment in NRE term deposit. That is also correct. Which is not correct? All are correct. None of them are not correct, isn't it? Now let us see our option. Option is 1 to 5 all. So that is question number 8. We are seeing question number 8. What is your option? 1 to 5. That is 1 to 5 all are not correct. No. All are correct? No. We have seen all are correct. So what is the option? Option A is 1 to 5 all. 1 to 5 all means what? 1 to 5 all are not correct. No. That is not, our option should not be A. 1 to 5 none. 1 to 5 none of them not correct. English also you should know. 1 to 5 none of them are not correct. That means all are correct. So for question number 8, the answer should be B. Question number 8, answer should be B. So this is one sample question I have given. So the question for premature closure, if it comes, it will be from the 4-5 slides, 3-4 slides, which I have shown you. Any type of interest, anything, you should be able to know. Only one sample question I have given. Okay. How many slabs are there in domestic and NRO term deposit interest rate as per HO Circular 631/2023? I have seen the PowerPoint shown to you know. 11 slabs are there. Question number 9, answer is 11. Question number 10. How many slabs are there in NRI term deposit interest rate as per HO circular 632/2023? Friends, NRO and domestic, it will start with 7 days. NRI term deposit, it will start from 1 year. So for question number 10, the answer is 6 slabs are there. Question number 10, answer is 6 slabs are there. Question number 11. Which is not correct with regard to non-callable term deposit as per HO circular 631/2023. What is meant by non-callable? It cannot be closed before maturity. So what is the minimum amount for non-callable deposit? Above 15 lakhs. Less than 15 lakhs, no non-callable deposit. So more than 15 lakhs, you can obtain for individuals, and this one you can take for more than 15 lakhs non-callable deposit. Okay. Now what is the question? Which is not correct with regard to non-callable term deposit as per HO circular 631/2023. Minimum amount is above 15 lakhs. Correct. Minimum amount is above 15 lakhs. Cannot be accepted from individuals and HUF. No, you can accept from individuals and HUF also. The minimum amount is above 15 lakhs. Non-callable. So point number 1 is correct. Point number 2 is not correct. Point number C. Non-callable deposit above 15 lakhs to less than 2 crores can be accepted for 46 days and above, and for less than 3 years. Yes, friends. So in our bank, we are accepting non-callable deposits for starting from more than 45 days. I will show you the slide. If you show the slide, you will understand it. Okay. See. So that question they are asking you frequently. So you should not miss it. See. So that is so non-callable deposit. You see more than 15 lakhs, less than 2 crores, more than 2 crores and above, less than 10 crores. It is that circular rate of interest is that. So if you see non-callable deposit, bank is not accepting. They are accepting only from 46 days. They are accepting only from 46 days. Non-callable deposit they are accepting, and then so if the non-callable deposit, if it is less than 2 crores, they are accepting for a period that is maximum less than 3 years only. Whereas non-callable deposit of 2 crores and above, they are accepting up to 10 years also. Again, I repeat, non-callable deposit less than 15 lakhs. Non-callable deposit minimum period starts from 46 days. Okay, non-callable deposit less than for non-callable deposits more than 15 lakhs, less than 2 crores. Minimum period is 46 days. Maximum period is less than 3 years. Non-callable deposit that is 2 crores and above. Minimum period is 46 days. Maximum period is 10 years. Okay, this is non-callable deposit. Let's see the question now. What is not correct with regard to non-callable term deposit as per HO circular? Minimum amount is 15 lakhs. Above 15 lakhs, correct. Cannot be accepted from individuals and HUF. No, wrong. You can accept from them also. Non-callable deposit of above 15 lakhs to less than 2 crores can be accepted for 46 days and above less than 3 years. Yes, amount of above 15 lakhs, less than 2 crores. You can accept for 46 days, maximum less than 3 years. If it is a non-callable deposit of 2 crores and above less than 10 crores, you can accept for 46 days to 10 years also. Here the amount is more than 15 lakhs, less than 2 crores. You can accept it for 46 days and above, less than 3 years only. That is also correct. Loans against non-callable deposit is permissible. Yes, a DSL, OD, etc. can be given against a non-callable deposit, but it cannot be closed. Deposit cannot be closed before maturity only. So which is not correct? Question number 11, point number B is not correct. So non-callable deposit earlier, if HUFs and then individuals are not permitted to open, now they are also permitted to open. Question number 12. If branches are desirous to quote rates other than the core rate for single bulk deposit of 2 crores and above less than 10 crores, branches to get permission from integrated treasury wing, that is S&R wing, that is systems and okay, I'll tell you earlier it was SP and D wing, and now the wing name has changed. I will tell you the explanation for the wing and the respective circle officers, respective ROs, none of these. Friends, you see this, when you see the slide. You see the slide, you'll get an idea. So you get an idea. So now the rate of interest is published in your circular for domestic and NRO deposit. We are having less than 2 crores on slab, 2 crores and above less than 10 crores. About 10 crores, if the party wants to open a deposit for about 10 crores, what he will do? See, less than 2 crores, the rate of interest for public and senior citizen is published. Okay, for less than 2 crores. And then for senior citizen with regard to callable deposit, less than 2 crores, the rates are published here. So 2 crores and above, less than 10 crores, rates also published here. And then more than 10 crores, sorry, 10 crores and above. If a party wants to deposit 10 crores and above, permission to be obtained from T&O division, integrated treasury wing through MIPD section. Because rates are not given here, only designated branches can open the deposit. Again, I repeat, for single bulk deposit of 10 crores and above, only designated branches can open the deposit after getting the rate from T&I division, treasury wing, that is the T&O wing, through MIPD section of the circle office, because rates are not in the circular. Okay. And only specialized branches can open. Suppose if the party wants to open 5 crore single bulk deposit, let's assume for 270 days, he wants to open. How much he wants? 5 crores. What is the rate of interest? You will tell him 5.75. But he says he wants 6%. So 2 crores to less than 10 crores, rates are published. Between 2 crores to less than 10 crores, if the party wants a differential rate of interest, 2 crores to less than 10 crores, if the party wants a different rate of interest as published in the circular, then also banks have to, the branch has to take permission from the treasury wing or whatever. We'll see in the question. No preferential interest will be given for deposits of less than 2 crores, because preferential interest can be given only if the deposit is 2 crores and above. So public and senior citizen very well clearly given here. So in this you cannot ask for any preferential interest. Here 2 crores and above less than 10 crores interest is given. In this you want something more rate of interest, you can take up with the T&O wing and you can get more than 10 crores. Also you have to get only from the T&O wing. That too only specialized branches can open, not all other branches. Let us see the question now. If branches are desirous to quote rates other than the rate for single bulk deposit of 2 crores and above less than 10 crores, already it is in the circular. But in spite of that, you want to get a different rate. All branches can open more than 10 crores, less than 10 crores. Only if it is 10 crores and above, specialized permitted branches only can open. Okay. Now a branch wants to open more than 10 crores, less than 10 crores, more than 2 crores, less than 10 crores of a single bulk deposit. They have to get permission from integrated treasury wing head office, integrated treasury wing head office, and SR wing, respective circle officers, respective ROs, none of this. Answer is A. So within card rate, no need for permission. About 2 crores, about 2 crores, less than 10 crores. Within the card rate given, there is no need for permission. Any branch wants to give differential rate of interest for 2 crores and above, less than 10 crores, they have to get permission from integrated treasury wing. If it is 10 crores and above, they have to get the rate itself from integrated treasury wing. No other option. For question number 12, your answer should be A. Question number 12, answer is A. Question number 13, who is the authority to get a branch designated to accept bulk deposit of rupees 10 crores and above? See, I told you, so special branches, designated branches. So that is the head of S and R wing. That is now it is S and R wing. The expansion is strategy and resource wing. So earlier it was strategic planning and development wing, SP and D wing. Now the wing name is changed to strategy and resource wing, S and R wing. So what's the question? Who is the authority to get branch designated to accept bulk deposit of 10 crores and above? Head of, that is in charge, wing head of S and R wing, that is strategy and resource wing, circle has to recommend. Okay, sir. Question number 14. In respect of deposit of rupees dash crores and above, a confirmatory letter in the form of a thanksgiving letter will be sent will be sent by the bank to the beneficiary by registered post reputed courier as well as email and SMS wherever email ID and mobile numbers are available, giving necessary details. 2 crores and above. When you open a deposit of 2 crores and above, these things to be done as a KYC now. 2 crores and above. Question number 14, answer is 2 crore and above. Question number 15. In the case of loan or overdraft facility of rupees dash crores and above against a term deposit, necessary due diligence shall be ensured by the branches. If you are going to give a loan or VSL against a OD or VSL against a term deposit, and the loan amount is rupees 1 crore and above, if the loan amount is 1 crore and above, then necessary due diligence to be done. Question number 14, answer is 2 crores and above. Question number 15, answer is 1 crore and above. Question number 16. In case of loan overdraft facility of rupees 1 crore and above and less than rupees dash crores, less than rupees 10 crores against term deposit, necessary offsite monitoring should be done at BS and IC section circle office. So, what is the question number 15? You see, in the case of loan overdraft facility of rupees 1 crore and above against bank term deposit, necessary due diligence to be ensured. That if the loan against a term deposit is 1 crore and above and less than 10 crores, that is OTM cell is there. No, OTM cell at circle office, BS and IC section to monitor. If the loan is against a term deposit is above 10 crores, if the loan is above 10 crores, who has to done the OTM surveillance monitoring? The OTM surveillance to be done by OTM cell inspection wing HO. So, in the case of loans overdraft facility of rupees 1 crore and above and less than 10 crores against term deposit, necessary offsite monitoring should be done at the BS and IC section circle office. And for loans of rupees 10 crores and above, who has to do the surveillance? Again, I repeat, please note it down. OTM cell inspection wing HO. OTM cell inspection wing HO. Question number 17. For non-deduction of source at non-deduction of tax at source, customers to give 15G or 15H along with the PAN. If PAN is not available, then what is correct? So customer is coming. So 15G, 15H, he wants to give senior citizen or super senior citizen or whatever it is. So you have to take from him and a normal citizen 15G, senior citizen 15H you will take. And if he wants to give, friends, please note 15G and 15H can be accepted only along with the PAN. If PAN is not given, you cannot accept 15G, 15H. If PAN is not there, you can open SB account by obtaining Form 60. But if PAN is not there, you cannot accept 15G, 15H. For non-deduction of tax at source, customers to give 15G or 15H along with PAN. If PAN is not available, then which is correct? Form 60 to be accepted and TDS need not be deducted. That is wrong. Point number B. Form 60 can be accepted and to be sent to Income Tax Department on a quarterly basis. That is wrong. Proof of having applied for PAN can be accepted and TDS need not be deducted. That is also wrong. So answer is which is correct? None of them is not available. If non-deduction of tax at source, customers to give 15G, 15H with PAN. If PAN is not available, then what is correct? None of these are correct. Question number 17, answer is D. 15G and 15H should not be accepted without the PAN number. So question number 17, answer is D. Question number 18. Funds can be transferred from NRO account to NRI account of the customer up to a maximum of $1 million or its equivalent. Please note it down. The answer is $1 million in the financial year. From NRO account to NRI accounts, funds can be transferred with a maximum of $1 million or its equivalent in other currencies in a financial year, subject to production of Form 15CA and Form 16BE by the customer. They may ask you any question. NRO to NRI, maximum $1 million within a financial year. Customer has to give Form 15CA and Form 15CB. These things will be audited and given by the statutory auditor. Okay, sir. So $1 million. Question number 19. Which is correct? Question number 19. Which is correct with regard to minimum amount required for opening FCNR deposit? You know, friends, we open FCNR deposit in foreign currencies. What are they? US dollar, Euro, Great British Pound, Australian dollars. In 5 currencies, we open A, B, C, D, E. Okay. And then your Canadian dollars also be open. Whatever you call it as NRI, FCNR deposit. So in US dollar, Euro, GBP, Australian dollars, in all these things, the minimum amount required is 500 only. In all the currencies, all are correct. So that is question number 19. Question number 19, answer is C, all are correct. Then the interest ceiling on the calculation of interest is as per RBI guidelines are linked to LIBOR rate, US dollar rate, overnight alternate reference rate, none of these. Question number 20, the answer is interest rate on FCNRB deposits are linked to overnight alternative reference rate. Earlier, it was LIBOR rate. I'll show a PowerPoint presentation. From that, questions will come. See, I'll show a PowerPoint presentation. Okay, this is, say, reference rate for arriving FCNR rates. Overnight alternate reference rate is the criteria. It is from December 21. If I am correct, it is from December 21. So earlier, the reference rate was LIBOR, London Interbank Offered Rate. Now from December 21, the overnight alternate reference rate is the basic rate based on which FCNRB deposits interest rates are fixed. If you go through the two slides, you will understand. Banks to fix FCNR rate based on that is alternate reference rate. Alternate reference rate is published by Financial Benchmarks India Private Limited, FBIN. Okay, this point in the question asked, you should not miss it. Every month, FCNR rates to be fixed based on the ARR of last working day of previous month. If you see the circular guidelines, FCNR interest rate, every month it will undergo a NRO, NRI, and domestic term deposit, whenever banks feel solely the rate of interest will undergo a change. But as far as the FCNR interest rate is concerned, if you see the circular, every month FCNR interest rate will undergo a change. So what is the basis on which the rate of interest is fixed for FCNR deposit for various currencies for different maturities? We are going to see now. Every month, so the FCNR interest rates are fixed based on the alternate reference rate. The alternate reference rate is given by Financial Benchmark India Private Limited. Maximum interest rate banks can fix for FCNR deposit is as under. How it is fixed, you see. Friends, here also I want to tell you one the important thing. In domestic deposits and the NRO deposit, the minimum period will be 7 days. If you see the circular, minimum period is 7 days, maximum period is 10 years. If you see NRE term deposit, minimum period is 1 year, and the maximum period is 10 years. Okay, so domestic and NRO start with 7 days and ends with 10 years. In all banks, starting 7 days will be the same and ending 10 years will be the same. Okay, in NRE term deposit, starting 1 year will be the same, ending 10 year will be the same in all banks. But in between, that is 7 to 45 days or 7 to 95 days, 96 days to 1 year. Like that, the tenor is there, no? That will vary from bank to bank. The tenor will vary, rate of interest also will vary. Again, I repeat, domestic and NRO term deposit, minimum period will start with 7 days and the maximum period will end with 10 years. So it will vary. That is in between, the tenor slab will vary from bank to bank. NRE term deposit, minimum period will be 1 year, maximum will be 10 years. In between, in Canara Bank, it will be 1 year to 2 years. In some other bank, it will be 1 year to 18 months or 19 months to something like that. So in between, the tenor will vary. Coming to FCNRB deposits, the FCNRB deposits, the tenor cannot vary from bank to bank. The minimum period of FCNR deposit 1 year. How the tenor should be? 1 year to less than 2 years. 2 years to less than 3 years. 3 years to less than 4 years. 4 years to less than 5 years. 5 years only. If you see the circular of FCNR deposit of any bank in India, you have only 5 tenors. What is the 5 tenors? 1 year to less than 2 years, 2 years to less than 3 years, 3 years to less than 4 years, 4 years to less than 5 years, 5 years only. So no bank can change the tenor, but interest rate can be varying. In the case of domestic deposit, NRO deposit, NRI deposit, minimum and maximum period will be the same. In between, tenor and the rate of interest will vary from bank to bank. Okay. Now, how the FCNRB deposit interest rate is fixed? For the rate of interest for 1 year to less than 2 years, 1 year to less than 3 years, what is the maximum rate a bank can fix? How it is fixed? So, I told you, overnight alternative reference rate for the respective currency or swap rate for the respective currency plus 250 basis points. Let's assume we are in the month of now October, isn't it? Let us assume at the beginning of the month of October, for the month of October, what is the FCNR interest rate bank would have given in a circular? How the FCNR rate is fixed? On the last working day of September. So we are fixing FCNR rate for the month of October. Now you see what is the FCNR rate. Sorry, what you take what is the last working day of September. Let's assume 30th September is the last working day. On the last working day that I was telling you, this other day is FBIL. On the last working day, the FBIL will publish a rate called alternative reference rate or swap rate. On the last working day of September, every month, for this year, in our case, it is September. For 30th September, FBIL will publish for various currencies, US dollar, euro, like that. Let us confine ourselves to US dollar now. On 30th September, FBIL would have published for US dollar what is the alternate reference rate for 1 year to less than 2 years, 2 years to less than 3 years. Like this, they will publish alternate reference rate for 5 periods for US dollar. They will also publish a rate called swap rate for the five terms. For example, 1 year to less than 2 years, 2 years to less than 3 years, 3 years to less than 4 years, etc. For the 5 period, they will publish FBIL on 30th September for US dollar. What is the alternate rate for the 5 periods? On 30th September, for these 5 periods, for US dollar, what is the swap rate? So bank can take anything, whether the bank can take alternate reference rate or swap rate. Along with that, let us assume for US dollar, for 1 year to less than 2 years, the alternate rate fixed by FBIL is, let us assume, 1%. 1%. Swap rate fixed by your FBIL, let's assume it is 2%, whatever it is. The bank has freedom to choose either alternate reference rate or swap rate given by the FBIL. Along with that, the bank can add some other percentage also. So let us assume bank has taken on 30th September, US dollar, that is alternate rate as 1% is the base rate for the period 1 year to less than 3 years, 1 year to 2 years, 2 years to less than 3 years. Along with that 1%, bank can add maximum 250 basis points. That is, for 1 year to less than 2 years, if the alternate rate is 1%, the maximum rate of interest Canara Bank can fix for 1 year to less than 2 years for US dollar next month from October 1st to 31st October is 1% plus 2.50. 250 basis point means 2.50%. So 1 plus 2.50, 3.50 maximum they can fix. They want to fix less than that also they can fix, but they cannot fix more than that. Like that, for all currencies, the alternate reference rate or the swap rate will be published by the FBIL. Based on that, for 1 year to less than 3 years, the maximum basis points you can add over and the ARR rate is only 2.50%. For 3 years and above and up to including 5 years, you can add AR rate or swap rate plus 350 basis points. Okay, that is the mechanism in which FCNR interest rates are fixed by the banks in India. So overnight alternate reference rate, banks to fix FCNR rates based on the ARR. ARR is published by the Financial Benchmark India Private Limited. Every month, FCNR rates to be fixed by the banks operating in India based on the ARR rate of the last month. Maximum interest rate banks can fix FCNR rate is as under. That is ARR rate or swap rate, whichever you are taking, maximum 2.50% for 1 year to less than 2 years. 1 year to less than 2 years, that is 2 years to less than 3 years, you can go maximum 2.50. And if it is 3 years to less than 4 years, 4 years to less than 5 years, and 5 years only, maximum you can go 3.50%, that is 350 basis points. No bank can give more than 2.50, more than 3.50. So within this less you can give, but it will not vary. It cannot go beyond that. This is a mechanism in which you are fixing the FCNR interest rate. If you see the question, you will be able to answer. The interest ceiling on FCNRB deposits and calculation of interest is as by RBI guidelines and linked to overnight alternative reference rate. Question number 20, answer is C. For 1 year to less than, that is 3 years, ARR plus 2.5%, that is 250 basis points. For 3 years and above, up to 5 years, it is ARR plus 3.50%, that is 350 points, 350 basis points, that is the maximum you can give. Okay, sir. Then, so who gives the ARR? FBIL. Then on the last working day of the previous month, every month the rate will be fixed. Okay, sir. Question number 21, which is not correct. Question number 21, which is not correct with regard to payment of interest on FCNR deposit. In case of FCNRB fixed deposit accepted for a period exactly 1 year, simple interest is payable only on the date of maturity. In other words, in case of such FCNRB deposits accepted for a period of 1 year, interest for the entire year, 365 days or 360 days, as the case may be, should be computed without any compounding effect, and no payment of interest should be made before completion of 1 year from the date of investment. So, if a person is opening a fixed deposit, and fixed deposit, I am telling, you have FDR and you have KDR, and he is telling 1 year fixed deposit. In that case, no monthly, no quarterly, no half-yearly interest payment. You have a monthly interest payment, quarterly interest payment, half-yearly interest payment, and FDR. In the case of FCNR deposit, fixed deposit, if it is opened exactly for 1 year, no monthly interest payment, simple interest will be given on the principal amount on the date of maturity. That is why to earn compound interest, you have to tell the customer, open FCNRB deposit for 1 year, 1 day. Okay, sir. Point number 1 is correct. Point number 2, in the case of FCNRB fixed deposit accepted for more than 1 year, simple interest can be paid at the intervals of 180 days each, and thereafter for the remaining number of days. That is also correct. In the case of FCNRB fixed deposits where the depositor wishes to get monthly, quarterly interest, the same should be paid at discounted value. Friends, in the case of a domestic deposit, if the depositor is made a fixed deposit and if he wants a monthly interest, you will give monthly interest only on a discounted value. But quarterly interest, you will not give on the discounted value. In the case of FCNR deposit, interest on a monthly or quarterly will be paid only on the discounted value. That is also correct. In the case of FCNRB KDR accounts, interest will be paid on maturity with compounding effect at the intervals of 180 days. All are correct. So, what is the question? Which is not correct. So, none of these. Option for question number 21, all are correct. So none of them are not correct. So the question for question number 21, answer is none of these are not correct. Question number 21, answer is E. Question number 22, in the case of renewal of overdue fixed deposit, which is not correct. This slide, if you see, you'll be able to understand it better. I have put everything in one small slide. You'll see it. See. So overdue deposit. Forget about automatic renewal and all is there. Automatic renewal will take care. Whenever there is no automatic renewal is there, when the depositor has matured and the depositor comes for either closure or renewal of the deposit, whether you can renew the deposit from the date of maturity. If we cannot renew from the date of maturity, what interest you will give for the overdue deposit for the overdue period? So here we have overdue domestic and NRO deposit, overdue NRI deposit, overdue FCNR deposit. 3 columns. What is that? So from the suppose a domestic deposit or NRO term deposit matured and the proceeds are availing in a overdue deposits without renewal. Depositor is coming on one day for the overdue period. From the date of maturity till payment, till the payment, from the date of maturity till payment, SB interest or the contractor rate for the matured deposit, whichever is less. So from the date of maturity till the date of payment, whatever SB interest was prevailing in between, or what is the contractor rate of interest for the deposit, whichever is less will be applied for the matured deposit. It cannot be renewed from the date of maturity. That is, I told you with regard to overdue, domestic and NRO. If it is overdue NRE deposit, from the date of maturity till payment, from the date of maturity till payment, you will apply SB interest. Here you see SB or the mature term deposit interest, whichever is less. Coming to NRE term deposit, you will pay the prevailing SB interest for the overdue period. The overdue NRE deposits cannot be renewed from the retrospectively from the maturity date. Coming to FCNR deposit, in FCNR deposit, overdue FCNR deposit, so you have to see what is the overdue period. If the overdue period is less than 14 days, or if the overdue period is more than 14 days. If the overdue period is less than 14 days, you can renew from the overdue date. Again, I repeat. So NROSB, domestic, NRO term deposit, domestic term deposit, NRE term deposit cannot be renewed from the maturity date, even if it is 1 day. In the case of FCNR deposit, it can be renewed from the maturity date if the maturity overdue period is not exceeding 14 days. You see, overdue FCNR. If the overdue period is less than 14 days, it can be renewed from the maturity date, and the rate of interest is the rate prevailing on the date of maturity or on the date of renewal, whichever is less. Very simple. Okay. If the overdue period is more than 14 days, simple interest at RFC SB rate for the respective currency on the date of renewal or the contractor rate of the mature deposit, whichever is lower, to be paid. So, FCNR deposit renewed within 14 days, you can renew it from the date of maturity. What rate you will apply for the mature deposit? So, what is the period it is going to be renewed? You see, what is the rate of interest for that period on the date of maturity or on the date of renewal, whichever is less, you will apply for the deposit, for the renewed deposit. In the case, if the FCNR deposit matured more than 14 days, you cannot renew it from the overdue date. During the intervening period, overdue period, you have to give one rate for that. Then you can renew subsequently from subsequent date only. What interest you will give for the overdue period? If the overdue period is more than 14 days, simple interest and RFC SB rate for the respective currency on the date of renewal. What is the simple RFC rate prevailing for the respective currency on the renewal date? So US dollar, what is the RFC SB rate? So you will apply that rate. Or what is the contractor rate on the matured FCNR deposit? Whichever is less, you will apply. So what is the logic of this question? Whether NRO and domestic deposit or NRE deposit, whether that can be renewed from the maturity date. No, they cannot be renewed. If it is NRO or domestic, you will give for the intervening period FB interest or the date or the rate of interest given for the mature deposit, whichever is less. If it is NRE term deposit, you will give the SB interest. You will not compare what is the interest given for the mature deposit. SB interest you will give for the intervening period. If it is FCNR deposit, you will see less than 14 days, more than 14 days. Accordingly, you will apply. Now let us see the question. In the case of renewal of overdue deposit, question number 22 we are seeing. In the case of renewal of overdue deposit, FCNR deposit, which is not correct. For the overdue deposit, for the overdue period, interest to be paid on RFC SB rate at the contracted FCNR deposit rate, whichever is less, and the deposit cannot be renewed from the overdue date, irrespective of the overdue period. So point number 1 is not correct. I told you it can be renewed if it is within 14 days. What is the question? Which is not correct. 1 is not correct. Let us see whether B is correct. If the overdue deposit is less than 14 days, it can be renewed from the maturity date, and the interest rate payable shall be the rate of the interest for the period of renewal as prevailing on the date of maturity or on the date of renewal, whichever is lower. Yes, point number B is correct. So point number A is not correct. Point number B is correct. Point number C. If the overdue period is more than 14 days, simple interest RFCSB rate for the respective currency on the date of renewal or the contracted rate on the matured FCNR deposit, whichever is lower, that is also correct. So which is not correct? So A is not correct. So question number 22, answer is A. For this, I have shown you the slide. Other two deposits they ask, you should be able to answer. So for question number 22, answer is A. Question number 23. Question number 23. What is not relevant with regard to opening of joint NRE and FCNR deposit by NRIs with resident Indians? Friends, the question is, you are having an NRI, there is an NRI, he is having an NRE SB of deposit with you, or he is having an NRO SB deposit with you, or he is having an NRE term deposit with you, or he is having an NRE, or he is having an NRE term deposit with you, let us assume. Or NRI, he can have NRO, he can have NRE, he can have FCNR, he can have RFC. Isn't it? NRI can have. So either it can be SB or it can be term deposit. So now that the NRI, along with the, let us assume an NRI, along with his NRE SB, he wants to add a resident Indian as a joint depositor. Whether it is permitted, if it is permitted, what are all the conditions are involved? So the question is, so a joint NRE and FCNR deposit by NRIs with resident Indians, whether along with an NRI deposit, you can add a resident individual as a joint deposit holder. That is the thing. Now let us see the presentation. So question is, NRIs are permitted to open NRE, FCNR, NRO with the resident close relative. Friends, the resident should be the close relative of the NRI as defined in section 277 of the Indian Companies Act 2013. Yes, residents can be joint depositors with another NRI account, provided the NRI and the resident are close relatives as defined in the Indian Companies Act. So the condition is farmer or survivor. Always they are asking the question. So a joint NRI deposit can be along with the resident. What is the operation condition? The operation condition of the account is farmer or survivor basis. It should be farmer or survivor basis. And in this account, number 1 should always be NRI. So farmer or survivor. As long as the NRI is alive, only NRI can operate the account. Whether survivor can operate the account, survivor can operate provided if a power of attorney is given by the NRI. What do you mean by farmer or survivor condition? Always the farmer to operate the account as long as he is there. After his demise, only survivor can operate. But here, even though the farmer is the NRI, survivor is the local resident close relative, he can operate the account provided a basic power of attorney is given by the NRI. Okay, it is a farmer survivor basis. Number 1 is the NRI. Here you see maximum joint depositors. Here I want to ask you a question. What is the maximum joint depositor in a domestic deposit, NRO deposit? No restriction. NRE deposit, no, there is no restriction. So capital gains, there is no, you cannot have joint deposits of capital gains. Can tax saver, maximum 2 persons only can be joint depositors. Coming to this NRI having a joint deposit with residents, maximum number is only 4. Please keep in mind, NRO, that is individually when they open, jointly when they open, NRO, all NRIs join and open NRO, all NRI joined and open NRI, all NRI joined and open FCNR deposit, or domestic deposits, all domestic residents open domestic deposit. In all these cases, there is no restriction. Capital gains cannot be opened in joint names. Please note. Contact saver maximum joint depositor can only be 2. With regard to NRI having a joint resident account, maximum number of joint depositors is only 4. Money belonging to the resident account holder cannot be credited in this account. Resident close relative can operate the account as the power of attorney holder only. RFC, EFC can be opened with other resident joint holders, close relative. Again, farmer or survivor basis, resident joint account holders cannot operate the account. If the power of attorney is given, they can operate. If the resident becomes the sole account holder, this farmer or survivor, no, farmer is NRI. If the NRI dies and the resident account holder becomes the sole account holder, it becomes a resident account. From NRI account will be converted into a resident account. Let's see the question now. What is not relevant? What is not relevant with regard to opening joint NRD and FCNR deposit by NRIs with resident Indians? So what is not relevant? Question number 23, what is not relevant? Maximum joint depositors is only 4. That is relevant, that is correct. With close relative as defined in the Indian Companies Act, with number 1 is NRI, with farmer or survivor basis. That is correct. Point number C. Money belonging to resident joint account holder cannot be credited in this account. Correct. Point number D. The resident joint holder can operate the account only under a mandate given by NRI. That is also correct. After the death of NRI, it becomes a resident account. That is also correct. So all are relevant. So question number 23, all are relevant. So question number 23, your answer should be F. So I told you from this question, I told you when the joint depositors can be 4, when the joint deposits is unlimited, any restriction is there, and the restrictions are for capital gains, no joint deposit. For can tax saver, maximum only 2 joint holders. And with regard to NRI opening a joint account with a close resident, maximum joint depositors can only be 4. Okay, sir. Then question number 24. Question number 24 we see. Which one of the following is not a relevant guideline for residents opening joint resident accounts with NRIs? The other one. Okay, the other one ulta. See, resident bank account. I am having an SB account, product code. My product code is 111 because I am an ex-employee. My son is an NRI. Whether I can add him as a joint account holder in this account? Yes, I can open a domestic SB account, and the close relative of the domestic resident who is an NRI can join as a joint account holder. What are all the conditions? In a resident account, NRI, close relative of the resident, can be a joint account holder on either or survivor basis. There you see, NRI, resident is joining farmer or survivor. Here resident, NRI is joining. The operation condition is the account is either or survivor. This question frequently they are asking. They are confusing us. Farmer or survivor or either or survivor. Resident, NRI close relative joining with that, it is either or survivor. So subject to, here the resident will be number 1. Here the resident will be number 1. Here also the maximum joint depositors only 4. It is treated as a resident account. Cash, checks, instruments belonging to NRI should not be credited in that account. That money belonging to the resident should not be credited in that account. Here, money belonging to the NRI should not be credited. The NRI joint holder will operate for domestic payment only. It is either or survivor, no. Either the resident can operate the account or the NRI can operate the account. There, the resident can operate the account only as a power of attorney holder of the NRI. Here, both the resident as well as the NRI will operate the account. The NRI will operate the account for local payments only. If the NRI becomes the survivor, sole survivor, because number 1 is the resident, number 2 is the NRI. If the NRI becomes the NRI becomes the survivor, the account to be designated as NRO. That if the resident becomes the sole survivor, the account will be converted into resident account. Isn't it? Here, if the NRI becomes the sole survivor, the account will be designated as NRO account. Let us see that is options available to you. Question number 24, if I am correct. Yes. Yes, sir. Which one of the following is not a relevant guideline for residents opening joint resident accounts with NRIs? Along with NRI close relative and the resident will be number 1, correct. Either or survivor basis, correct. For purpose, it is for all purposes, it is treated as a resident account. That is also for all purposes treated resident. That is also correct. Money belonging to the NRI should not be credited in these accounts. None of these. The answer again for this question is E. None of these. All are relevant. All are relevant. The PowerPoint is also there. Question number 25. Additions. Additions and deletions of names of depositors are permitted with the consent of all the depositors, provided number one, in the original deposit should continue in the new deposit. Any one of the original depositor to continue in the new deposit. Number one in the old deposit should be number one in the new deposit also. None of these. Friends, you are having a joint deposit, let's assume. 1, 2, 3, 4 are there. Number one, number two, number three. Three people are there, let's assume. Number one, number two, or number three. So additions, deletions. If you want to add, you can add depending upon it is a can tax, etc. Those conditions you keep in your mind. Additions and deletions. So if you want to add some depositors, you can add depending upon the restriction. If you want to remove some depositors, you can remove some depositor. But for all these things, additions or deletions, all depositors have to give their consent. Okay. My next question is all depositors have to give their consent. My next question to you is whether when you are deleting a depositor, what is the condition? So you are having a joint deposit in the name of A, B, and C. Okay. So one depositor you want to delete, or one depositor you want to add, etc. You want to delete one of the depositor from the joint deposit. Whether you can delete any depositor, or you should not release some of the depositor, etc. The condition is your deposit policy is any depositor can be deleted or any depositor can be added, provided one of the joint depositors should continue to be the joint depositor from the date of opening till closure. Again, I repeat. So any depositor can be removed, any depositor can be added in a joint deposit with the consent of all depositors, provided any one of the depositor whose name was in the original deposit will continue to be the depositor from the date of deposit till closure. That is the criteria. We are having something on number one depositor, we should not delete, etc. Nothing of that sort. One of the depositor, A, B, C. So let us assume, so at least one person should continue in the deposit from the date of opening till closure. So all the A, B, C should be removed. New person should not be put in the deposit. That is a condition. Additions and deletions of names of depositors are permitted with the consent of all the depositors. For question number 25, the answer should be B. Any one of the original depositor to continue in the new deposit also. Question number 25, answer is B. Question number 26. If FCNR RFC term deposits remains overdue for a period of dash year from the date of maturity of the deposit, at the end of the dash year, the branches shall convert the balances lying in the foreign currency into Indian rupee at the exchange rate, TT buying rate, prevailing as on the date, and place the converted amount into overdue Indian rupees deposit. A. 10th and at the end of the 10th year. Third and at the end of the third year. Fifth and at the end of the fifth year. Banks should not convert the deposits into Indian deposit without the consent of the depositor. Friends, again I repeat, if your RFC term deposit or your FCNR term deposit in foreign currency after maturity, if they are lying in the overdue deposit for a period of that is 3 years from the days, if FCNR RFC term deposit remain overdue for a period of 3 years from the date of maturity of the deposit, at the end of the third year, 3 years over. So at the end of the third year, so branches shall convert it and put them in the Indian rupees for 3 years and at the end of the third year. Question number 26, answer is B. Question number 26, answer is B. You should not continue to keep the deposit in foreign currency deposit. Question number 26, answer is B. Question number 27. In respect of foreign currency denominated deposits like RFC B, RFC current account, or any other foreign currency deposit with no fixed period if the deposit remains inoperative for a period of again 3 years, sir. Wherever the foreign currency deposits, if it is a term deposit matured and lying in overdue for 3 years. If it is an RFC SB or RFC current account inoperative for 3 years, at the end of the third year, you have to convert into domestic deposit at what rate? TT buying rate. If they ask that question, you should.
Sir, sir, sir. Hello. சார் எனக்கு ஆடியோவே வரல. அதுதான் தெரியல. ஆடியோ ஸ்டாப்னு ஒருத்தன் போட்டிருக்கான். அதான் ஒரு போட்டேன். Friends, whether you are getting audio of Mr. Jagannath sir? But I am not getting the audio. So I have requested him to exit and join again. My audio, I think you are getting, but I could not get sir audio. I'll request one of you to unmute. Please. Ravali, can you talk whether I will check whether your audio is I am getting. Hello, madam, can you talk? Ravali, are you getting my audio? Sir? Yeah. Then I will check. Then I will check 1 second. I will enable you. You are there in which name? BB Ravi Kumar. Ravi K. Yeah? Yes. Can you talk? Hello. 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 But my worry is if video is not giving audio. Okay. Then okay. I will ask him. Sir. Hello. Sir, you can start, sir. I think it is problem only at my end. Hello. Okay. Sir, I have unmuted you, sir. Hello. Yeah.
on 3 lakhs up to 5 lakhs, he will get a commission of 3%. So beyond 5 lakhs, that is whatever he collected, he will get a commission of, for example, let us see. So that is in area C, he collects 3 lakhs. He will get a fallback wage of 8,000. That's all. Because he is collecting only 3 lakhs. When he will get a commission, only if he collects something more than 3 lakhs. Let's assume he has not collected anything more lakhs, he will get only 8,000. Suppose in area B, he will get a fallback wage of that is 8,000 when he collects 4 lakhs. So he has collected 4 lakhs, he get the fallback wages. Now, anything more than 3 lakhs collected, he will get a commission of 3%, isn't it? So how much he has collected more than 3 lakhs? 1 lakh he has collected. What is 3% commission on that 1 lakh? 3,000. So in area B, when he collects the minimum amount of 4 lakhs, besides the fallback wages, he will get a commission of also 3,000. Beyond like that. So when he comes to area A, so minimum gratuity, how do you have to calculate? Gratuity to be calculated at the rate of 15 days commission for each completed year of service on average commission for 12 months preceding the date of cessation, termination of agency. You see last 12 months, what is the commission, average commission you have paid. On that average commission, 15 days commission for each completed of years of service you have to pay as the gratuity. Okay, then applicable TDS to be deducted. So termination of the NND agent, if you want to terminate the NND agent, what to be done? Due to death, resignation, or the bank is going to terminate him, paper advertisement to be given, confirmation balance both from active and inactive accounts to be obtained. In the paper advertisement, you have to specifically mention within 30 days, if any claim is there, banks to be informed. Security deposit to refunded only after 6 months or after accepting his resignation, provided if balance confirmation is received from all account holders after getting permission from RO, indemnity along with a respectable person known to the bank to be applied. Okay, that is there in 165 by 2023, and then 29 by 2020. Before that, interest on NND deposit will be paid on daily product basis. That is, balance at the end of the day in the account is the product of the day. Earlier it was monthly. So on a daily product basis, like SB account, interest on NND also to be paid on a daily product basis. That is the end of the day, what is the balance is a daily product. Based on that, you calculate the interest will be paid. Earlier, it was at the end of the month, what is the balance on which we have been paying the interest. So that is what told you, chose circular 29. And then 485 by 2023. From last year, from 1/10/2022, interest rate for NND deposit is defined. You know, the maximum period you have to accept NND deposit, tenor is 63 months only. The rate specific permission from regional office to be obtained. Specific permission from regional office to be maintained, and then a penal provision of 0.05% on the interest payable will be recovered if closed within 12 months. If it closed within 12 months, the interest you will pay 0.10. That is the interest you will pay for 0.10 less than 12 months. On that, you will get a penal provision of 0.05. Balance interest only will give and specific permission. If it is closed 12 months but less than 24 months, this is the rate of interest. So 5 slabs are there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You will accept only for 63 months. On maturity, you will give 2%. If it is closed before maturity, this is the rate of interest you will give. Here, there is no penal cut, 0.25, 0.50, 1% straight away. And less than 12 months, if it is closed, penal provision of 0.05 is there. And thereafter, getting specific permission from a regional office. Earlier, before this 485/2023 has come, if it is closed before 12 months, you will collect 3% on the principal amount. You will recover 3% on the principal amount after getting permission from RO. See how the money is deposited. On that, you are recovering 3%. So that was subjected to. Now, Reserve Bank has told, bank has come out with a guideline. If it is less than 12 months, you cannot recover anything from the amount what he has paid. You can give lesser rate of interest to him. So rate of interest 10.10. Then penalty provision 0.05, 0.05 only you will give to the customer. Okay, these are the things, changes. Loans against, okay, so I will quickly go through. I think time is running around. Okay. So question number 43. You are in question number 43. Who cannot open NND account as per HO Circular 165/23? Partnership firms, they can open. Clubs and associations, they can open. Proprietary concerns, they can open. Companies, they cannot open. A to D all. Who cannot open? D is the answer. Question number 43, answer is D. Staff also cannot open. Keep that in mind. Question number 43, answer is D. Question number 44. What is the minimum fallback wages in all areas if the agent collects the prescribed amount in a month and a quarter? You know, 8,000 rupees. That is a minimum fallback wages, 8,000 rupees. As per HO Circular 485/23, how many slabs are there in the rate for NND? So 5 slabs are there. If you see the circular, I showed you the circular, no? That is 5 slabs are there. Question number 45, answer is 5. Question number 46. For loans above 2 crores to depositors, so let us see this is a recent circular. Let us see this slide, you will understand it. Okay. Now, modifications in interest against deposit. HO Circular 621/23 and then 624/23. Loans against domestic term deposits standing in the name of the depositor, not to third party. The loan is in the name of the depositor and you are giving the loan to the depositor. That is a change has come. How much loan you can give, what is the rate of interest you can charge, and who has the authority to reduce the rate of interest. Loans against domestic term depositor to the depositor. Normal margin is 10%. You have to give 10% margin. Interest rate 2% above the deposit rate for loans up to inclusive of 2 crores. Please note it. 1% above the deposit rate for loans above 2 crores earlier, irrespective of the loan amount. So you have to charge 2% above the rate. Somebody was having various authority, but normally you will charge that is 2% above the deposit rate. Now, as per HO Circular 623/624, margin is 2%, but the interest rate is 2% above the deposit rate if the loan amount is above the loan amount is up to and inclusive of 2 crores. If the loan amount is above 2 crores, you will charge only 1% above the deposit rate. This change is there in 621. Now, who is the delegate? That anybody can reduce the margin, anybody can reduce the rate of interest. That is the question. Loans against domestic term deposits standing in the name of the depositor, delegation of reduction in margin and interest. Loan up to 2 crores, loan above 2 crores. So branch in charge, 10% margin they have to give, and rate of interest 2% over the deposit. If the loan amount is 2 crores, how much they can sanction depends upon the delegation of power. So for example, 5 crores, A fellow is having a deposit. So there is 5 crores deposit. He wants a loan of 1 crore, or he wants loan of that is 2 crores. Let us assume branch in charge cannot take just 10% margin. He can. What is the scale he is setting? Scale 1, scale 2, scale 3, like that, depending upon the delegation he has give. So margin is 10%. Rate of interest is 2% above the deposit rate. RO gets CAC, they can maintain the same margin, but the rate of interest they can give more than 1% more than the deposit rate. Then circulate CAC 5%, they can reduce the margin, they can reduce the rate of interest. Like the CGM HOCAC, margin can be reduced from 10% to 5%, rate of interest can be reduced to 0.75% over the deposit rate. Like that delegation is there. If the loan amount is above 2 crores, branch in charge 10%. I already told you, everybody is having 1% more if the loan amount is about 2 crores. RO head also 10%, they have to charge 1% more. Circle head can reduce the margin, but they cannot reduce the rate of interest. Here you see, RO head can reduce the rate of interest. Circle head can reduce the rate of interest. RO head cannot reduce the margin, but circle head can reduce the margin and rate of interest, like that. Here, if you see, RO head cannot reduce the margin, but RO head can reduce, both branch head and RO head cannot reduce the margin and rate of interest for loan above 2 crores. The reduction in the margin is permitted by circulate COC, but he cannot reduce the rate of interest. Whereas GM, COC and above HO authorities can reduce margin from 10% to 5%, 5%, and they can reduce the rate of interest also. Now you see the question, you will be able to answer. For loans above 2 crores to depositors against our domestic term deposit, the required margin is 10%, and the interest rate to be charged to the loan is 1% above the deposit rate as per HO Circular 621/2023. Who is empowered to reduce the interest rate for such loans as per HO Circular? RO head, CAC and above authority? No. Branch head cannot reduce, RO head cannot reduce. The CGM, GM, CO, no. CGM, CO, CAC can reduce only the margin. You have to charge only 1%. Then circulate CAC above authorities, no. Then CGM, GM, HO, CAC and above authorities. The right answer for question number 46 is answer D. Question number 46, answer is D. This is given in the 2 HO circulars. Please go through if you have time. Questions on RBI Master Direction and Deposits updated till September 2022. So 10 questions will finish and wind up there today. I think most of you may be interesting to see the match or something. I'm not interested in the match. Okay, question number 47. The periodicity for crediting SB interest by any bank in India as per RBI guideline. Friends, in Canara Bank, when SB interest is credited, SB interest is credited on a quarterly basis. On which date? I think if I am correct, it is credited on 1st February, 1st May, 1st August, and 1st November. This is the 4 months in a year. SB interest is credited on a quarterly basis. But the question is, what is the Reserve Bank of India guidelines with regard to credit of SB interest? Reserve Bank has not given any date on which you have to credit the SB interest. Reserve Bank has not prescribed anything. Reserve Bank has prescribed only one thing to all the banks. Interest to SB accounts to be credited, the periodicity is a quarterly or less than quarterly intervals. If you want to give credit to SB interest on a daily basis, you can credit. If you want to give credit to SB interest once in 15 days, you can do. No restriction. But you cannot give SB interest credit in a year. There is more than a quarter delay. Within 1 quarter, you have to give minimum. At least once in a quarter, you have to give interest to the SB deposit. It can be less than 1 quarter also. As per Reserve Bank of India guidelines, the periodicity for crediting SB interest by any bank in also you can give. We have chosen once in a quarter and we have chosen the date. But Reserve Bank says quarterly or lesser interval. The question, you want to read the question very clearly. So as per Reserve Bank of India guideline, whenever they say as per the Reserve Bank of India master directions on interest on deposits updated till 16th September 2022, this is the guideline. Question number 47, answer is D. Question number 48, as per RBI master direction on deposits, different interest rate for SB deposits can be paid by a bank provided the balance exceeds 50 lakhs, 25 lakhs, 10 lakhs, 1 lakh. Friends, In our bank, I have shown you the HO circular where the interest rate on SB deposit from 21/12/2022 is changed. That is less than 50 lakhs, 2.90, like that they started. But what Reserve Bank of India is telling, different interest rates you can pay to SB account holders if the balance is above 1 lakh. If the balance is above 1 lakh, you can pay. But we have decided to pay if it is above 50 lakhs only. We are paying above 1 lakh. Up to 50 lakhs, we are paying the same interest. But RBI says up to 1 lakh, you pay the same interest. Above 1 lakh, you can pay differential interest. We have taken a decision to pay differential interest above 50 lakhs. Okay, answer for the question is 1 lakh. Don't write 50 lakhs by saying our circular. RBI master direction. For question number 48, answer is D. Question number 49, sorry. Question number 49. Question number 49. For calculating interest on SB accounts, as per RBI notification, banks to take daily product basis. Question number 49, answer is A. Question number 49, answer is A, daily product basis. In NNT deposit also, as per HO circular 29/2023, daily product basis. Okay, sir. Question number 49, answer is A. Question number 50. What is the amount of check that is mandatory for positive pay? So all of you will write 5 lakhs and above. No. Please understand. Reserve Bank of India has not yet made mandatory the positive pay. It has given instruction to banks. So above 50,000, it is at the customer's discretion. Banks may make it mandatory for above 5 lakhs. No bank so far has made it mandatory. In Canara Bank also, we have not made it mandatory. Please understand. Don't write immediately 5 lakhs. What is the amount of check that is mandatory for positive pay? So none of this. So it is again discretion. Above 50,000, it is made discretion. As per RBI guidelines, above 5 lakhs, banks have been asked to make it mandatory, but it is not yet made mandatory in any bank. So then what are all the days? It is at the discretion of the account holder. So answer is D. It is at the discretion of the account holder, and banks may consider making it mandatory in the case of checks amount of rupees 5 lakhs and above. You see the word whether mandatory is that. Suppose if the question is Reserve Bank, what is the question here? What is the amount of check that is mandatory? Okay, for positive pay. That means it is compulsory. Isn't compulsory? It is like that, compulsory. So far, it is not compulsory. But banks, what is the amount of checks? Banks can consider making it mandatory. If the question comes like that, you write it as 5 lakhs. Well, what is the amount mandatory? You say none of this because it is not yet made. Banks can consider making it 5 lakhs and above. Okay, that's a clear difference you have to understand, friends. Okay, so none of this. Then what are all the fields you have to give? Suppose in the case of this one. So here for this mandatory, you can also refer HO circular 695/23. That's the latest circular. So 695/23 HO circular for question number 50. What are all the fields that is required for positive pay? Account number. Please note down account number, name of the payee, check number. Again, I repeat, account number, name of the payee, check number, date of check, amount, MICR code. 6 fields are required. Account number as per HO circular 695/23. Account number, name of payee, check number, date of check, amount, MICR code, MICR code. Okay, sir. So for question number 50, answer is D. So I have told you several things from there. Please understand. Please go to by seeing the question, you may feel that question is very easy. In between points will be there. Until you read in between the lines of the circular and guidelines, chances of making mistakes are there. You're all knowledgeable people. I need not tell you. Okay, sir. Question number 51. As per RBI Master Circular to earn interest in NRO and domestic term deposit, minimum tenor of the deposit is dash and minimum amount is dash. So in our bank, I told you friends, for accepting deposits, domestic term deposit and NRO term deposit, the minimum period is 7 days and minimum amount is 5 lakhs. But Reserve Bank of India has not fixed any minimum amount. Reserve Bank of India has fixed only the minimum day. So minimum number of days fixed by Reserve Bank of India for accepting a domestic and NRO term deposit is 7 days. minimum amount is not fixed by RBI. We are fixed as 5 lakhs. Now you answer the question. As per RBI Master Circular, to earn interest on NRO domestic term deposit, minimum tenor of the deposit is 7 days and the minimum amount is nil. RBI has not fixed any minimum amount. So what is the option? 15 days, 1,000. 7 days. So you will immediately go and write the answer B, 7 days and 5 lakhs. This is in our bank. But the question is RBI master direction. So as per RBI master direction, minimum 7 days, no amount is fixed. So none of these. Question number 51, answer is D. Question number 51, answer is D. Question number 52, as per RBI guidelines, banks have to necessarily permit premature closure of term deposit accepted from individuals if the amount is rupees 15 lakhs and below. Friends, I showed you the table, callable and non-callable. When you have to accept the non-callable deposit for above 15 lakhs only. Why? Why you have to accept callable, non-callable above 15 lakhs? Because as per Reserve Bank of India guidelines, all deposits up to 15 lakhs should be callable only. That means before maturity closer to be permitted. So above 15 lakhs, above 15 lakhs only, it can be callable. So in our bank, we have made the non-callable deposit above 15 lakhs. Now you answer the question. What is that? As per RBI guidelines, bank to necessarily permit premature closure of term deposit accepted from individuals for amount of rupees 15 lakhs and below. So answer is E. Question number 52, answer is E. Now you understand why callable, non-callable more than 15 lakhs. Then, question number 53. What is the additional interest that can be offered to the term deposit of senior citizen by any bank in India as per RBI Master Direction on Interest Rate? Read the question. What is the additional interest that can be offered to term deposit of senior citizen by any bank in India as per RBI Master Direction on Interest Rate and Deposits? None of these. So in our bank, we are giving 0.50 if the deposit is more than 180 days, less than 2 crores. In some other bank, it will be different. Some banks will not give also, isn't it? So in last 1 year only, we have fixed more than 180 days. Before that, even for 7 days, we have been giving. So Reserve Bank of India has not told for senior citizen, you should give 0.50. For senior citizen, you should give 0.75. They are not given. So they told for senior citizen, banks can give additional interest. If is an ex-employee senior citizen, 1% as employee you will give, and whatever you are giving additional interest to senior citizen, you have to give. That is why I am getting today 1.50%. You got my point, friends? So, okay, what is the additional interest that can be offered to term deposit of senior citizen by any bank in India as per master direction? Answer is none of these. Don't take 0.50. Answer is none of these. Question number 53. To earn interest on NRI term deposit, the minimum period is 1 year. For NRO term deposit, it is 7 days. For FCNR deposit, it is that is 1 year by any bank in India. So 1 year, 7 days, and 1 year. Question number 54, answer is A. Question number 54, answer is A. Question number 55. Which one of the following interest rates are specified by RBI and not left to the discretion of the banks concerned? NRI savings bank deposits, who decides the rate? Respective banks decides the rate. It is not controlled by RBI. Domestic term deposit rate, it is left to the discretion of the minimum period, maximum period only RBI has told. So interest rate are fixed by same different banks on their own. Domestic SB deposit, that is also fixed by different banks. RBI told above 1 lakh, you can give different rate. That's all RBI has told. It is fixed by different banks. Loans to distressed persons up to 1 lakh. Who fixes the rate of interest? Don't say it is RBI. Only DRI interest rate is fixed by RBI. Differential interest rate scheme, DIR interest, that only fixed by RBI. Loans to distressed persons, whether he is in MSME sector or whether he is in agriculture sector, RLLR plus or MCLR plus, you will fix. That is also given to the discretion of the bank. None of these. So question is, which one of the following interest rates are specified or RBI are not left to the discretion of the banks? None of these. All are given to the discretion of the bank. Question number 55, answer is E. Question number 55, answer is E. Question number 56. As per RBI guidelines, interest rate for NRI, NRO deposits, both SB and term deposit of similar maturity are to be same as that of domestic deposit rates, equal to or more than the domestic deposit rate, equal to or less than the domestic deposit rate at the discretion of the bank. Here, so you are having NRI deposit, you are having a domestic deposit, you are having the NRO deposit. Interest rates as per RBI guidelines, rates what you are giving to NRE and NRO deposit should be either equal or less than the domestic rate. It cannot be more than the domestic rate. The answer is C. So question number 56, answer is C. So if you see the circular of SB interest rate, or if you see the circular of term deposit, domestic and NRO, the rate of interest in our bank, we have fixed the same, either for NRE or for NRO or domestic, or it can be fixed less. NRO and NRE can be fixed less than the domestic, but we are fixed the same. It cannot be more than the domestic. So question number 56, answer is C. Question number 57. Banks in India have to have the same tenor for which type of deposit? I already told you. 1 year to less than 2 years, 2 years to less than 3 years, etc. The 5 slab is fixed by Reserve Bank of India for FCNR deposit. For all other deposits, minimum and maximum period only is fixed by RBI. So here it is FCNR. Question number 57, answer is D. Question number 58. What type of FCNR deposits banks in India can open for NRI? Current account under FATCA? No current account under FCNR. SB account for bond long term is no SB account under FCNR. No RD account under FCNR. FCNR, you can open only a fixed deposit, or you can open there is reinvestment term deposit excluding RD. You cannot open RD also. So term deposit fixed and reinvestment other than RD. Term deposit including RD, no. So you can open only a fixed deposit and reinvestment in our bank. It is FDR and KDR, that is, and not RD also. So question number that is 58, answer is 3. Question number 58, answer is 3 only. No, answer is D. For question number 58, answer is D. For question number 58, answer is D, sir. So you can open only this one. 59. Differential interest rate for NRO, NRE, domestic term deposit can be paid by the bank other than RRB when the amount is rupees 2 crores and above as per RBI guidelines. About 2 crores, 2 crores and above, about 10 crores, 10 crores and above. So this is with effect from 12/3/2019. The date also you note, because last time or year before last they asked that question. If there is single bulk deposit is defined as 2 crores and above as per Reserve Bank of India, from which date? The date is 12/3/2019, 2 crores and above. As for with question number 60, I think we will call it a day, because now it is right, is 5:39. Already have taken 5 minutes, 10 minutes of your time. Question number 60, we'll continue in the next class. Question number 60, I will finish. As per RBI guidelines, bulk deposit for regional rural bank means for commercial banks, it is 2 crores and above. For regional rural banks, it is 15 lakhs and above. As per RBI guidelines, bulk deposit regional rural bank means single rupee term deposit of 15 lakhs. No, a single rupee term deposit rupees 15 lakhs and above. Question number 60, answer is C. So there are remaining few questions, another 11 questions, and then new SB products. Your that is Canara Premium Payroll account, Canara SB FCRA accounts, and then your Jeevan Dara, and then SB Select. These things, again, numbers. I made a PowerPoint presentation. So anyhow, it is there in this PowerPoint. So we will discuss it in the next class. Thank you very much for your patience hearing in spite of your weekend and in spite of your having India-Pakistan match. Thank you, friends. Thank you very much. We'll meet in the next class.
Sir, thank you, sir. But some people have told to continue if possible. But I think we have overstepped nearly 3 hours. You have been taking class continuously.
Yes, yes, it is already enough. For 10 minutes more, I overstepped. I generally I want to overstep it.
No. People were talking about your energy.
Okay. Okay. So we'll make.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Thank you.
Earlier. Please continue. Huh?
191
Now,
first whatever back stop 191 42.5 hours level. Maybe the warp then the page in the night in the no.
PPT we will share, sir. No problem. Questions already shared in WhatsApp group, madam. You can download the question paper. I have also shared. If anyone wants, we will share again. Recorded class will be uploaded by tomorrow. Answer also will be shared, sir. Don't worry. PPT also I will get from Jagannath sir and I will share. Those who are not in WhatsApp channel, please contact your regional secretary. Try to connect to WhatsApp group, WhatsApp channel, our CBOA WhatsApp channel. There you will get all the required materials. We are not posting separately in separate groups. So thank you, friends. I am closing the session.